6:01, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans take down the Browns 31-29 in their most complete game of the season and secure their second win of the year. Cam Ward threw for 2 touchdowns for the first time in his career, and Tony Pollard had his best game of his career as he rushed for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Titans' offensive line allowed just 1 sack on the day and held Myles Garrett to his second lowest pass rush win rate of his career at just 4%. For the Titans' defense, they forced an interception, a fumble, and accrued 2 sacks on the day. But don't worry, the special teams also got on the mix, as well as James Williams blocked a punt in the fourth quarter. It was the first Titans blocked punt since back in 2012. In college football, the playoffs are now set. Indiana, the top seed, after beating Ohio State in the Big Ten championship on Saturday, who's now number 2. SEC champion Georgia is now number 3. Big 12 champion Texas Tech sits at number 4. Then it's Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, who's the first 3-loss team to make the playoffs. Then Miami, Tulane, and James Madison round out the 12-team bracket. The first 2 out is Notre Dame and BYU. Notre Dame decided that they want to decline their bowl invitation and focus on the 2026 season in quest for a national championship, per the school announced on social media yesterday. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
A very good Monday morning to you in beautiful Music City on a cold Monday. We are back in studio, and for the first time since October the 6th, we have got a Titans victory Monday. Titans 31, Browns 29. That just barely scratches the surface of what we get to this morning. We've got conference championship weekend to react to. Indiana and Georgia with the big wins. Did the playoff committee get it right, making a big change and a big call yesterday? Plus, did somebody just win the Heisman over the weekend as well? 615-737-1045 at Ramon and Will, where you can follow and stream the show on Twitter. He is Ramon Foster, Justin Hawkins, our producer. I am Will Bowling. Good morning, gentlemen. It's good to be back.
What up, man? Welcome back into the land of warmth and enjoyment. We still got gray skies, but welcome back.
You all thawed out?
Yeah, you all thawed out.
It really wasn't that bad. I'm serious.
Looking at the TV,
it
looked worse.
So many layers. So let me break it down before we break down the game.
Yeah.
Long johns,
yes.
Fleece sweatpants, and then a protective, like, waterproof and windproof pant over that. Shirt, quarter zip, heated vest that's electric that got me through the game, Titans hoodie, and then 2 jackets zipped together, like those like big heavy duty jackets with like the foil in them that you can like zip into one another. Hand warmers, gloves, foot warmers in my boots, which I got that are thermal, that were new, and then a Titans hat. I was good to go.
You were.
At one point, my feet warmers were so warm that when I was walking down to the field right after the playoff bracket had been announced, I felt like I was stepping on a hot pool, like a hot pool, like floor, or what? Not floor. What am I trying to say? The cement, like around a pool.
Yeah.
When it's really hot in the summer.
Yeah.
That's how it felt on my feet.
Okay. I'm sure the players are going to need some tips from you on that one, because I've never seen a player get or stay that warm. You were really out here like a 2025 version of Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
Yeah, it really wasn't that bad.
Okay.
It really wasn't that bad. The wind never really picked up was the thing. Because if it had been really windy, it was really weird, because beginning of the game, the flakes were tiny.
Yeah.
And so they were coming in. It was one of my first hits, like, the wind was coming in from the southwest corner, but then the snow was kind of blowing from the northeast corner. And it was just kind of like this little vortex of like tiny little snowflakes. None of them were sticking. All of it was just melting the second it was hitting the ground. And then as the game went, then the wind picked up a little bit, but it was never like really really bad.
Yeah.
It was not the wind that I expected, for sure. It did swirl, and it was like switching directions every now and then, and it switched from the first half to the second half, which was really interesting, but it was never that crazy.
Did is the electric vest rechargeable? Does it have a battery pack?
Oh, yes, it does.
So yeah, that's what I saw someone ask that in our YouTube chat. How does that work? Do you flip a switch?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a little button on the vest.
Yeah.
That you there's like hot, medium, or low. I had it on medium for the first half, and I was so warm that I put it on low for the second half. I looked Cleveland in the face and I mocked it. I looked Mother Nature in the face and I said, "No, I am the captain now.
Look at you.
I am the captain now." It really wasn't that bad.
Okay.
I was good.
How long does the battery on one of those last, though?
If you put it on low, it can be like 6 to 8 hours.
Okay.
I think on high, it's like 3. So I think it's like 3, 6, and 9, maybe.
Okay.
I took it at Columbus last year for the Tennessee-Ohio State game. That's when I started using it. Because for that one, I got electric gloves, socks, and vest. And the socks lasted like an hour. The gloves lasted about 3 hours. And then the vest lasted the whole game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did the feet? They were fine. You said.
Feet
You
were
said
great.
it felt like you were walking on the sidewalk.
It
All right,
looked
cool.
worse on TV than it really was.
All right.
It was not the normal wind chill that you've played in Cleveland for 11 times in your career. It was just like a 30-degree day with maybe some wind that made it feel like it was 20 to 25, but like nothing crazy. I also now understand when you guys talk about how warm those heaters are on the sideline, like for the players, and how players also shouldn't stand within 8 feet of those because it will catch your clothes on fire.
Yes, it will.
I think Tavondre Sweat spent as much time standing in front of that heater as he did on the football field in this game yesterday.
They put the boys in all white, though, man. Like that, to me, that's one of those mental games that they like to play. Cold weather, you put the opposing team in all white and, make it as if they're not supposed to be warm. Yeah, Tavondre's there. Listen, a lot of big guys in front of that. But the cool part is the benches. The benches, the best part of it to me was the heat comes from underneath. They got holes at the bottom of it where the cleats stay warm and everything. Absolutely love that part of it, man. But a dub victory Monday.
It is a victory Monday for the first time in 2 months.
Big time. Did you hold up real quick before we go to football?
Yeah.
Any fans bark at you, get disrespectful? Come on, I know.
I'm glad you asked.
If it's the Cleveland,
I'm glad you asked, Ramon,
Yeah,
because there was an incident.
There was an incident.
There was an incident in this game. I got nailed by a snowball.
Did you?
I got absolutely pelted. I got nailed in the neck by a snowball by a guy in an Aaron Donald Rams jersey.
No.
Now, granted, I did turn around and show him an L and point to the scoreboard and then blow him a kiss after it happened just to thank him for giving me the full Cleveland experience. But yes, a man in an Aaron Donald Rams jersey threw a snowball at me in Cleveland yesterday.
That's assault. You should have. Hey, lock him up.
Okay, Adam Schefter.
Lock him up.
Assault.
Yes. Assault. Yes.
Yeah, it was after the James
serious?
Williams blocked punt because I was standing on that side of the sideline, and as they were walking back from their celebration from also getting pelted with snowballs themselves, as they were walking back, they walked like right in front of me, like not even a foot in front of me. And I think they were trying to hit the defensive guys as they're walking by, and it just nailed me. Security's like, which one was it? Who was it? Who was it?
Pointed
Like right there.
Yeah.
I pointed right at the guy.
Get him.
They did nothing. They did not throw him out. But
that viral clip, lock him
funny
up.
thing was that he had like a kid with him that was wearing a Titans jersey too.
What?
So I was like, are you just like a listener that doesn't like me because you who was actually a Titans fan? But no, he was a Browns fan. He was cheering for the Browns.
That's a crazy amount of hate right
Look,
there.
if I was a Browns fan and I had to endure what you've had to endure since you moved back there in 1999, I wouldn't wear a Browns jersey to the game either. I'd have plausible deniability as well.
What's even worse is if that guy's wearing the Aaron Donald jersey, which makes me think he's from Penn Hills, a.k.a. Pittsburgh, and you're driving to Cleveland to watch the Cleveland Browns, and you have a team in Pittsburgh that you can cheer for that also won yesterday too. What up, Bert? I know he's not up right now, but what up, Bert? With that being said, like that's a miserable person to be wearing an Aaron Donald jersey inside of the Cleveland Browns stadium right there. Miserable, Will.
It was funny. The PR folks for the Titans always come down at the end of the game to coordinate all the interviews, and I talked with Jeffrey Simmons. They helped me get him, and Tony Pollard and Cam Ward were both talking to the Fox crew, and I was like, yeah, I got nailed by which it became the joke of it as we're breaking down. Like Rhett's like, hey, Will, did you get hit by a snowball? You hadn't told anybody yet, which is funny. So last night we landed, I was like, man, now I'm just going to tell the story, and I'm going to vision Rhett sitting in his car, being like, oh, here we go with the snowball story again. But anyway, PR came down, and I mentioned to him, and Everett Yearlings with the team was like, I saw that. I didn't know that was you. Are you okay? You got nailed. I was like, I looked him dead in the eye. I was like, I'm glad it happened. It's the full experience.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted from this. So it was really fun. Cleveland is
it's not bad.
They don't ever see the sun there.
No.
Like that, it's the weather part of it that makes that city just so awful because there's stuff to do downtown. Like, it's really not that bad.
It is.
But it's just the weather. Oh, my goodness.
You'd be surprised how much business goes through Cleveland. Like, I'll say this on this side. Like, they have, like, one of the biggest exotic car dealerships in, like, the Midwest. Isn't that what you call Cleveland? Yeah, up north.
Definitely
the Midwest. A lot of business goes through because of the lakes and stuff like that. Like, Cleveland's not a boring place. Like you said, it's just miserable. The sports have been until Cleveland and the Cavaliers with LeBron, right? Like, they had that. The Browns have always been
Guardians
bad.
Are decent. Yeah.
Guardians are decent, but, like, baseball's the third or fourth ranked sport in America, right? So they got to deal with that side of it. So I will say the city's not bad. The fans are amazing. They are very passionate. Batteries have been thrown at me and stuff like that. So I get it. You are right. You got the full Cleveland experience, Will, and I'm proud of you, man.
It's better a snowball than a battery, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That battery could hit you in the eye or something like that. That's pretty. I didn't realize there was that much snow. That guy must have really been scraping.
It really wasn't. That was the thing. Like there were tiny flakes, and it almost became more of a wintry mix by the end of the game. Like, it wasn't really rain. It was just like there was about an hour from the second quarter to the third where it was like big flakes, and I thought it was going to start sticking. And I gave that hit coming out of halftime. Is like it's starting to stick around me on the turf, but not really as much on the field. Plus on the field, it's so much mud on that field anyway that there's not much to really stick to.
Yeah, I think those heaters actually underground make the ground worse. Because they said they kept that grass at like 70 degrees all night long. And
slippery.
Like, yes, and mushy.
Yeah.
Yes, it gets mushy. Sure. I didn't like Green Bay had it, and Green Bay also has like fake grass threaded into the ground also to keep some green in it.
And there's like sand in there too. That's what the sideline looked like, sand.
I'm with you. I'd much rather just have some level of cold around it instead of it being mushy like that.
I know they had guys ready. When I was in the locker room last week, they were getting guys ready to play with their longer studs on the cleats. It's like there was a sign on the locker room door that said, today would be a good time to break in your studs or break in your longer cleats. But even with that, I have extra sympathy for changing direction on a field like that. When it's that cold, when it's that slippery and already muddy, very, very difficult. And difficult to score as many points as were scored in this game. 31-29, Titans over the Browns. We will dive into the football live for the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. Your phone calls at 615-737-1045. How did the Titans wake up their sleeping run game? We lead off the show with that next. As always, on Reaction Monday, our only guest of the morning is you on Ramon and Will. 615-737-1045. At Ramon and Will, at Ramon Foster, at Will_Bowling on Twitter. So the Titans beat the Browns 31-29, and Tony Pollard had a career high in rushing. 25 for 161 and 2 touchdowns. There were 15 punts in this game, 3 turnovers, and a blocked punt, plus some thrown snowballs, both at me and at Cam Ward. I'm just going to find a way to work in my snowball story into every segment.
Jared Judy got one in his own stadium, too, on his touchdown. Yeah, one landed right by him as he hit the front flip on the broad. I'm talking about right beside him.
Most team rushing yards for the Tennessee Titans in a game since October 30th, 2022. This is the run game we've been waiting for. This is the team we thought we might get more of. Maybe not 152 yards worth, but certainly more than what we have had this season, Ramon. What worked for this offensive line to finally let the run game click and lead the Titans to a win yesterday?
Commitment to the run, number one. 35 reps at it. I mean, you take Cam 2 rushes away, 33 attempts at running the football, I thought was huge. I felt like yesterday watching them too, they had a game plan and stuck to it. And that's as simple as it could be. But what I mean is this. Cleveland went wild with the idea that the Titans didn't have much of a run game. And with that being said, they took advantage of the middle. The guys up front, I felt like, had a sense of pride in hearing the conversation about Myles Garrett all week long. The way Bo Hardegree was able to get Cam Ward, throw it into the pathways in which Myles Garrett was in. Myles Garrett got wide because he probably figured that they were going to do more drop backs and that his guys up the middle were going to be able to stop the run, and you took advantage. There were gaping holes on the defense that Cleveland just exposed himself to. It was kind of weird watching their defensive structure, understanding how that defense has been most of the year anyway. And you say, this is a day that we're going to just, I guess, chase after Cam Ward. And the Titans absolutely kicked them in the face with that one. I thought it was unique. Also, at this part of it, too, the finish that the guys had on each and every block. You saw a lot of pushing after the play. You saw a lot of guys just finishing dudes to the ground. I saw one play where I think it's Peter Skoronski pancaked a guy. Or the guy lost his leverage is what they'll tell you. You never get pancaked in the NFL. And the guy just patted Peter on the shoulder like, yeah, all right, you got me. And I was just like, all right. There was a meanness to their play in Cleveland on Sunday that I don't think we've seen at this clip. And maybe it was because of momentum too, Will. But it was finished and the game plan actually being executed.
The only running back who had 100 yards against the Cleveland Browns this season was Derrick Henry. 103 yards in Week 11. Mm-hmm. Tony Pollard did not have a 100-yard game all season. Make that make sense. That both of those things could happen on the same.
Can I say this too? This is the version I thought with him being the alpha back, the solo back when he came from Dallas, that the Titans would get week in and week out. How this happens 2 years later, I have no idea.
No, I'm with you.
This is the version when you remove yourself, like, I'm the man now. The guy. This is. Howard, it's the offensive line. It could be the team. It could have been the quarterbacks. It could have been the coordinators. But this is the version I thought guys like him take when it's their show moving forward.
11th career 100-yard rushing game for Tony against the Cleveland defense that was number 1 in yards per attempt allowed. 3.7 yards per carry allowed this season. He had 90 rushing yards before contact, Ramon. According to Next Gen Stats, that is the most the Browns have allowed to a single rusher in a game in 2025. From ESPN Analytics, a career-high 147 yards with 2 touchdowns on 20 rushes inside the tackles, the most by a Titans player since Derrick Henry in 2022, who had 203 in a game against the Houston Texans. Did the fact that Cam pulled it on the RPO game make any kind of impact in the run game, Ramon? Because it felt like the Cleveland defense on that backside edge, not to the play side,
right,
had to start respecting Cam's ability to pull the ball. Is that a part of this at all to you on contributing to Tony's success?
That threat hadn't been there all year. Not consistently. He's pulled it in, what was it, a few weeks ago. He's done similar things. But no, that right there to me was just like, oh, we got another factor of the running game that we have to stop right now. And all you need is what we've spoken about. And I think a lot of his fan base has been asking Cam for too, is show us that you might run the football. That to me is the 11th player when it comes to the ground game right there. The defenses now have to account for in other cities. Like Lamar has that element. Jaden Daniels has that element. Heck, we're watching C.J. Stroud have that element to that Patrick Mahomes. That's where I felt like Cam got too much in a box of, like, I want to be a passer. And he is a passer. But that pulling right there, Will, did so much for, I think, that defense. So now the D tackles and the D ends and linebackers have to key in on what Cam is going to do with the football.
Yeah, I think it's a part of it. I don't think it's everything. I think there were a lot of things, to your point, that contributed to them finally being able to run. And it did feel like Cleveland got a little too aggressive in just getting around the edge and getting after the quarterback. I also think Cleveland missed Malik Collins, their good run-stopping defensive tackle up the middle, who they did not have, a third-round pick back in 2016. I was thinking down there about the Dan Orlovsky tweet a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, I think, right before Thanksgiving football. He said, if you don't use QB run and RPO, stop living in the shotgun. And it looked like the Titans at least kept Cleveland honest a little bit on those situations. I mean, the 65-yard run, if you go back and look at the film of how that happened, you get two excellent blocks from Corey Levin and Peter Skoronski, who are pulling in front of Tony Pollard, and Gunnar Helm takes out two defenders with one block.
Van Jefferson gets one down the field, too.
Van Jefferson gets one, too. It's got to be all 11. So, yes, the offensive line certainly gets credit for this. I just think there is, and you talking to Mike Borgonzi like I do every week, talking to you, obviously, about this, or just talking to anybody who's ever involved in offensive line or any kind of run game. There is a pride you have to take in being able to run the football. And I don't know what clicked during the week. I don't know if it's the fact that they knew this was going to be a snow, cold weather, AFC Central type of game. It felt like the Titans finally embraced being that kind of team.
Yeah.
They embraced taking pride in being a run-first offense, and this is the benefit of it. At the end of the day, all of those factors put together, Cleveland being really aggressive to impact Cam. I think Corey Levin, who's had two really good games in a row at center. And I think just a pride as the weather gets colder in that, all right, this is the way we're going to have to start winning these football games. And it showed.
It was. And here's what I'll also say, too. Guys did their jobs one-to-one. There's an element of the game to where the game plan is what it is, the matchup is what it is, the weather, the scenario you've been on the road, your quarterback's inexperienced. What you saw yesterday were guys also just simply winning. That I don't know if we've seen that version of this team at all. Guys winning, the scheme being there, not showing that frustration and just cattiness of an overthrow and guys getting upset. Because who was it? Chimere DK that had, I mean, he and Cam didn't connect on the one pass. Like, nobody got upset. Like, just being a football player is what I felt like yesterday was from. I know some fans, I'm sure, will call in or tweet us, well, you ruined the number one overall pick.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in hour three.
You had an element yesterday. Well, you had a scenario in which from play one all the way to the end of the game, you figured out how to win a football game. That's invaluable. That's something that this young group needed. And at the end of the day, football, and I will say this all the time, is too hard of a sport for you to just go out there and bash your head up against a wall with no outcome that's in your favor. Jeff ball. Cam had a steady of a game that you could have.
And he could have been better, but
he could have. It was 50%, but it was steady.
He didn't ruin it for you.
The threat of him was there, I felt like, most of yesterday. The threat of Cam making a big play was there. And I'm not sure if you lived that life the previous 12 games in the season.
Let's go to the phones for your thoughts. 615-737-1045. We begin with Dylan in Nashville first up.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Thanks for taking the call. This is just, weekly reminder, Jeremiah Smith, 2027. Shout out to him. We're going to draft him. Can't wait for that to all be set up. Mike Borgonzi to trade back and get a bunch of picks, trade up and get them. And also, Will, this is just your weekly reminder that J.C. Latham is a guard. And I'm guessing he's sitting there next to Kevin Zeitler just picking up all the tricks of the trade just so that he can move over there in the future. And just wanted to give a shout-out to the aggressiveness that I did see. Gunnar Helm's downfield block. That shit was stuff was awesome. Love you guys. I'll just hang up and listen.
Thank you, Dylan.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Dylan.
Dylan was doing so well.
He was. It's early.
It is early.
The caffeine hadn't kicked in just yet. It was quick and over with. You know what I'm saying? The Gunnar Helm, like that to me is when guys are getting praised for stuff that they're not normally used to doing, blocking down the field. You mentioned Gunnar Helm, right? Van Jefferson, I know he had a drop, but he was a great teammate in how he was continually being involved in plays up and down the field yesterday, man. And just for the first time this year, the big boys up front looked like what you thought the bag wanted them to look like.
They set the tone.
They set the tone.
Yeah.
Defensively also. Yes.
For sure. Tim is in Mount Juliet up next. Good morning, Tim.
Hey, morning, guys. Yeah, so I know you guys kind of touched on it a little bit, but J.C. Latham, I think, deserves a lot of credit. I mean, he's been catching a lot of crap the last couple of weeks. Rightfully so. He's been playing terrible. And watching the game yesterday, I didn't see really anything from him that looked like a really bad play or something that really killed us. So, credit where it's due. I'm a big Titans hater most of the time, and they've been so bad, and he was pretty good yesterday. I also want to point out that while this team is, clearly, I think, the worst in football, and I'm as the biggest fan of anybody, I can say that. I watch every snap, and it would be nice to see what this team could do with, such a less difficult schedule. I mean, we are now 2-1 on the season against teams under 500. It'd be nice if we had, let's say, the Patriots schedule where they're playing a team under 500 pretty much every single week. I'm not saying it'd be any different, but it'd be a little different. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Thank you, Tim. I think you're right, honestly. And, two, it's not excusing any of the bad the Titans have had this year.
All right.
Titans have got to control what they can control. But at the same time, Ramon, this schedule ended up being way tougher than we expected.
Yeah. This is supposed to be a fourth place schedule that you're playing right now, meaning every team that you played this year was in the same position that you were last year. Nobody knew New England was going to turn into what they were. Or, the AFC West. There's so many different avenues in which this is not ideal for the season that you had last year.
Oh, and then coming up next, you have the 9-4 49ers in San Francisco next week.
Hot, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, just
coming off the bye week, too.
And, of course, the Chiefs are going to be who they are at some point in time, too, and who knew the Jags. And, it is just a snowball effect of this is just the unluckiest year to try to rebuild and incorporate your franchise quarterback into the NFL. How did New England get the schedule? Because they're in the AFC East? That's it. That's the start of it. Yeah.
Yeah. They have another fourth place schedule.
And
they were last in their division, but the divisions they are playing in the AFC East this year are also a little easier. And you get to play the Jets twice.
I will also say this, too. The NFC West, which the Titans are playing this year, has never been easy to me. That they have always been
you guys
headache.
in Pittsburgh, and we've talked about this before, where that was kind of your kryptonite, was going out to the West Coast.
I personally just think in general.
Yeah,
the NFC West stays, I don't know, you don't think about them until you got to play them, but then they're always really good. Or at least competitive. They're more competitive.
Right. Let's go to Eric in Nashville up next. What's up, Eric?
First of all, Will, I want to say sorry that happened to you, that you got hit with that snowball.
No, it's all right.
I know you're doing okay. I also want to say I certainly do not care about draft position, guys. I'm just happy we won. But also, I got to say a big shout-out and thank you to Kevin Stefanski for going for 2 twice, which I was stunned at, and that he did it the first time. I know he's getting roasted in Cleveland because you had a chance to kick the extra point, maybe time to force overtime. But, hey, you take wins any way you can get them, and I'll certainly take this one. But as far as the game went yesterday, guys, I'm so happy they stuck with Tony Pollard because I thought last week they kind of went away from him. And it was just so frustrating to have 7 straight, I guess, 3 and outs. The fact that we didn't have that yesterday, I was happy about that. The penalties late kind of concerned me. Also that personal foul, unnecessary roughness. It's hard to stop film and see it in slow motion and all this stuff, guys, but that was a bad call. And then I felt bad for Tajay Spears that he had the run taken away by, I guess, a legal shift. But all in all, Very, very happy to have the win, guys. So happy for Jeffrey Simmons getting that Walter Payton nominee for our team for NFL Man of the Year and having the game he had, outplaying Myles Garrett, who everybody thought was going to get the sacks and break the record yesterday. The fact that offensive line played better, and it was mentioned in the postgame show that you had guys, the other team that's probably not as good as him, that was wrecking our offensive line. The fact that we held him in check was great. The only thing, guys, I want to see left the rest of the season, we have 2 home games left, guys. I want to see a victory and be able to cheer victory at home. We've lost 11 straight games at home, and I want to snap that streak. Guys, y'all take care. We'll talk to you again soon and tighten up.
Thank you, Eric.
Appreciate it, Eric.
You have the 6-7 Kansas City Chiefs coming to town in a few weeks, and then a Saints team that all of a sudden's won a couple games. The illegal shift penalty. Chim DK on the sideline had to be calmed down. He was so mad about that being called. He swore that he did not do anything wrong on that play, and the second that he got back to the huddle after walking away in anger, Cedric Gray had gotten the fumble, and they was right back on the field, and then he catches the touchdown 3 plays later. So he did get a little bit of redemption, but to Eric's point, that was a big missed opportunity. And then to the caller's point before that too on J.C. Latham, the illegal man downfield penalty on him, and then the false start they had when 3rd and 3. You throw complete to James Prochet for a first down, but you had called timeout before the ball was snapped. Then you go back out there, and then J.C. Latham gets a false start out of that.
It's just tough sledding, man. It was that point in the game, too, in which you felt momentum was switching over to Cleveland side, too, as far as I think he had Myles Garrett over the top of him on that particular play. The legal man downfield, I actually blame Cam on that.
Okay.
Cam pulls that ball and stumble. He messed up the flow of that. Offensive linemen have to, like, the run-pass option.
Fair.
I have to run block first. If I don't and you hand the football off and the running back gets killed, then that's on me, and everybody's going to blame me. So that has to be there. You can't just govern down. Like, that's got to be a quick process. Okay, should I hand it off? Okay, ball gone. Should I pull it and throw it? Then it needs to be automatic. I don't necessarily – I'll take that one back on J.C. Latham. I can call it bad when it's bad and good when it's good. His idea was he was going up to the second level to block his man. And quite honestly, they could have picked any one of the offensive linemen beside him, too.
And correct me if I'm wrong, the way I understand the rule, Ramon, the reason why you don't see as many RPOs in the NFL in that context versus college is you need to be within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage in the NFL, and you can be 3 yards downfield in college.
Yes, and there's the give and take is at the referee's discretion. Yeah, absolutely.
You can be, when a ball is still not thrown, linemen can be up to 3 yards past the line of scrimmage in college football. If you watched a Vanderbilt game this year, you know that linemen are always 2 and 3 yards downfield. Yeah. That's within the rules, within their right. I'm not complaining. You don't see NFL teams be able to use that in the same way because it feels like NFL officials also don't give the kind of grace that, like, illegal man downfield in college is like 3 seconds in basketball. Like, it is a rule. It will get called once in a blue moon. It is the rule that probably gets enforced the least.
Absolutely. And that's where it is right there. It's like when the ball is passed, when the pass is thrown, and you see an offensive lineman in that vicinity because he's supposed to be there because of the run pass option, then that's on him. That, to me, that's Cam. Cam owe him on that one.
Yeah, the ball's got to come out quicker if you are going to run the RPO stuff.
Yep.
615-737-1045. There is a stat out of this game that completely shocked me on something the Titans were able to do. We'll talk about that next.
Genesis Diamonds really shines this time of the year. The cases are jam-packed with all the best gifts, highest quality, at the guaranteed best value prices. I'm talking about engagement rings, diamond bracelets, eternity bands, earrings, pendants, colored stone jewelry, Rolex watches, and listen, this December at Genesis, you can get the holiday jewelry she wants for $0 down and no interest for 5 years. So you can go big without going broke. Pick any item, spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. That $6,000 ring is just $100 a month now, man. Do the math. Everything's affordable. Genesis non-commissioned experts are ready to help you find the headliner gift from a few $100s to a few $100,000 if you desire. Elegant pendants, dazzling eternity bands, stylish wedding bands, and an incredible selection of diamond classic jewelry. 0 down, 0 interest for 5 years. And yes, hundreds of pristine pre-owned Rolex watches, all the most popular models will be available to you. And if you love a deal, here's something all new for 2025. The Genesis Diamonds Half-Price Holiday Vault, a select group of showcases featuring expertly curated Christmas gifts that Genesis is offering at half price. That's 50% savings, the biggest discount ever. You need to check this out. Genesis Diamond, the place for that spectacular holiday gift. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs. See stores for details.
Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone, wrapping up hour number one. Getting back to your phone calls in just a moment. 615-737-1045. Ramon Foster, according to Pro Football Focus, the Titans offensive line held Myles Garrett to a 4% pass rush win rate. It's the second lowest in his career.
Good.
What about the plan did you like for the Titans in neutralizing Myles Garrett?
Took advantage of his aggressiveness, number one. Got the ball out so fast, whether it was incomplete or whether you were making short completions. That's the game we spoke about that we wanted to see Cam Ward play this year. Have a great support in the run game. They went directly at him also and beat him up. Everywhere that Myles Garrett was, they had 12 personnel or too tight wherever he was. He didn't have much of a free release unless the ball was coming out quick. You played into his strengths or his weaknesses, that is, the way the game plan unfolded. If he was wide and getting upfield, you threw a pass to the flat. If he was aggressive and trying to get up the middle, you had guys chipping him and finding him. There was one time, it was like 3 guys on him at one time. You have to do these types of things. I'm not going to sit here and act like this isn't the game plan for teams that have to face these type of demons. We did the exact same thing against Aaron Donald. Like, you have to have guys up the middle to do that. Like, it's okay to say, yeah, you need a little bit extra help for guys who are potential Hall of Fame caliber players. And I'm sure you look at what Cleveland did to Jeff. They tried to do the exact same thing. Actually, they were flagrant against Jeff. How do you have that man and a one technique against your center with no help right there? That's just dumb. And you know what? Jeff took advantage of it. The Titans benefited from that.
And when I talked to Jeff after the game, I did the post-game interview for the Titans locker room report with Jeff, and he's like, man, I'm mad we didn't get more.
It was there.
There were 100% more sacks on the field. He knew it, and he also said, we were doing well, too, until I just got gassed at the end of the game, and they were able to just kind of take advantage of that. He's like, I got a lot of one-on-ones that I was able to win until I just got gassed at the end. And that's where the Titans, I think, conservative mindset on offense is something you have to have when you still have Myles Garrett on the other side, because one turnover that give the Browns a short field and you lose that game. So I'm not saying the offense did anything wrong. It's just it's the risk reward you've got to take, in that if you are running the ball to keep it away from the opposition and you can't get first downs, and all of a sudden you put a tired defense back out there, you see what it looked like. Titans just ran out of gas late, and that's when Shedeur Sanders kind of picked him apart in 2 minutes. Credit to him, too. He made some really high-level throws in that game. We'll talk more about that in the third hour. But the Titans' defense, before it got just really tired from being out of the field so much, controlled this game.
Yeah, they did. It was fun to watch, man. Again, this is also, I guess, the uniqueness of Jeff real quick, too. We spoke about this, Jeff. Like, I brought this up. Like, Jeff versus Myles Garrett was a thing, and how Jeff could potentially have a good day. He's the closest to the quarterback, and he showed that yesterday, especially at the way that he was able to get his sack and a half. It was fast. It was quick. And when you got backups, you expose them as if they are backups, too.
And he is up to 8 sacks. He is half a sack from his career high with 4 games left, and he was hurt. All pro, Jeffrey Simmons. Yeah. Mike in Cleveland next up. Good morning, Mike.
Morning, Mike.
Oh, thank you, sir. You may proceed.
Yeah. We finally got a victory Monday. Hey, Will, I'm glad you got to come up and experience even the snowball to the face, dog. That's
Thank you.
Up.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, yeah. And, now you see what I deal with. So, this is an everyday problem for me, man. But, your one day up here, man, I'm glad you heard, to stay warm and don't try to be cute, bro. You feel me?
That's true.
But, yeah, man. But now I just want to say I'm glad my boys didn't come up here and embarrass me. They making the week even better for me already. I get to hold my head high that they came up here and did their job. Last week I had called in. I asked if they was quitting, if the locker room was quitting on McCoy. And, man, I think it's fair to say that they not quitting. All the challenges that,
that people were saying about Myles Garrett, just everything people been saying, man, they stood up to the challenge, and I'm glad Pollard finally got to, stay in the game. They wasn't looking to get Spears, looking for Spears is, I don't know what they've been doing, but, putting Spears in the third. And, yeah, man, it was a good victory, and I'm really happy that they came up here and, we took care of business, tighten up.
No doubt.
Thank you, Mike.
Mike called in last week and said, you know what your mom used to tell you all the time before you walk in the store? Don't y'all come up here and embarrass me.
That's right.
And they didn't.
That's absolutely right.
Might get to live, man.
Garrett is in Nashville up next. Good morning, Garrett.
Morning, Garrett.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to call up and give some praise to the boys. They got it done. I mean, I couldn't even be mad. I lost my sports bets, but seeing the Titans win made up for it. I mean, Tony Pollard looked nice, and, 161 yards,
Yeah, 161.
It giving me flashbacks.
Garrett, you bet against them?
Sorry?
You bet against them yesterday?
No. I had the Cardinals to cover a 20-point spread. I didn't think they were going to get blown out like that.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about bet against the Titans. My bad.
No. I usually never bet anything on a Tennessee sports teams.
Okay.
A little superstitious with it.
I feel you.
Smart.
One time I bet on the Vols. We did lose, but anytime I don't bet on them, we win. So I just stopped doing it.
Gary, you sound just like how I would do it, man.
Thank you, Garrett. Appreciate the call.
Yeah, I feel you. Don't mess with the home team.
It was flashbacks, though, to Garrett's point.
Yeah.
It felt like, dare I say, Derrick Henry Titans on offense. And the way you were able to run the ball, and you didn't need to throw. You didn't have to ask Cam to do very much in this game other than just not screw it up, and he didn't.
That's a conversation we'll have to revisit over the summer, too. Is it bad that you run the football? I think you have to be able to pass it when you want to. But the whole 3 yards in the cloud of dust thing, you ate well off of that, man.
Coming up as hour 2 begins, we'll talk about the college football playoff bracket in a half hour. Get to some college football stuff because there's a ton to get to. And again, we're the longest show on the station, and at 4 hours, we still barely have enough time to get to everything we want to get to. You will hear from Cam Ward coming up how it feels to win. It doesn't really sound like Cam Ward won yesterday. Sounds like he's kind of ticked off about the way that he played. You'll hear from him next.
It's Ramon and Will for Window Nation. Good people, man, if you need to replace your windows but put it off because of cost, well, we're not here to tell you, man. It's a good thing you waited to now. Just a couple of tidbits about Window Nation. They got an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They do 50-point inspections on every window before it leaves the factory. And if you don't believe us in this, they got 96% customer satisfaction rating. And, Will, over 45,000 five-star reviews.
And Ramon, one of the big reasons why customers love Window Nation is because they save you money. Take advantage of Window Nation's end-of-year sale. Get 50% off all window styles. You could get 0% interest financing for 5 years. If you need to replace your windows, but you put it off because of cost, well, it is good that you waited until now. Schedule a fast, free estimate now at windownation.com. And hurry, because this sale ends soon. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Online at windownation.com.
7:01, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans take down the Browns 31-29 on Sunday in their most complete game of the season and secure their second win of the year. Cam Ward threw for 2 touchdowns for the first time of his career, and Tony Pollard had a career high in rushing for 161 yards, 2 scores as well. The Titans offensive line allowed just 1 sack on the day and held Myles Garrett to his second lowest pass rush win rate of his career at just 4%. The Titans defense forced an interception, a fumble, and accrued 2 sacks on the day. Jeffrey Simmons had 1.5 sacks. Then special teams got in on the mix as well with James Williams Sr. block punt in the fourth quarter. It was the Titans' first block punt since 2012. In college football, the playoffs are now set. Indiana, the top seed after beating Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship, who now sits at number 2. SEC champion Georgia sits at number 3, and the Big 12 champion Texas Tech is the number 4 team. Then it's Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, who is the first 3-loss team to make the playoff. Then Miami, Tulane, James Madison round out the 12-team bracket. The first 2 out is Notre Dame and BYU. Vanderbilt, they're headed to the ReliaQuest Bowl in Tampa Bay to face Iowa on New Year's Eve. And then Tennessee, they're headed to the Music City Bowl in Nashville, and they'll face off with Illinois on December 30th. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Ramona Will, hour number 2 on this Monday morning in Music City, USA. 615-737-1045. How you join us on a Victory Monday. Tennessee Titans 31, Cleveland Browns 29. The Tony Pollard game in the snow globe of Huntington Bank Field in Cleveland, Ohio. We will shift gears to college football coming up here in 15 minutes. But, Ramon, we lead off hour number 2 with a little bit more Titans because Cam Ward spoke yesterday. And if you had just listened to this press conference and I'd asked you what the score of the game was, you probably would have thought it was last week. 25-3, loss, bad offensive performance. Cam Ward asked, how does it feel to win? Responded with this.
It feels good to win. But, winning still hard stuff. It's a lot of, flaws that we got to continue to, get over personally, then just as a team. And, we just got to, come next week with the right mindset.
That's the first touchdown drive you guys have had to open a game all year. How important was that to kind of establish yourselves and get a little momentum going?
About time, honestly. That's really all it is to it. We just got to continue to be efficient. I have to be efficient, throwing my guys open, putting it, in their radius to make plays. They just got to continue to be efficient in the run game. Lean on those guys, it's going to help spring some big ones.
After that, Cam Ward, just a few minutes later, talking about how he treats wins and losses.
I really didn't need it. I treat the wins the same. I treat the losses the same. It's always something that I have to do better. It's a lot of plays that I missed out there just from not giving my receivers a chance. And I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to do the same thing I did last week, try to get better.
So on the plane ride home, Ramon, Arden Key gets on the intercom, says, y'all enjoy this. Don't listen to what Cam said. Y'all enjoy this.
Yeah.
It's hard to win in this league. Enjoy it.
If you see me on YouTube TV, I was squinting as he was talking. I personally don't know how to take Cam because I don't know Cam. I know a lot of people crave this type of stuff from their franchise quarterbacks and et cetera. You want to hear him not ever be satisfied, but there is the Arden Key of the world where he's 100% correct on that one. You can't
and it was in a funny way too. There wasn't like a fight.
What do we say all the time? Listen to the truth and jokes. There's that, Arden joked about it because he can go at him like that, but the truth is, Cam, if he wanted, Cam, shut up, we won. We are 2-11 right now, respectfully. Listen to the truth and jokes, man, is what I would tell you. And Arden has a point right there. I was writing down what he was saying. Winning hide stuff, that is true. But winning should also be celebrated no matter how and when you get them in those moments right there, too. Cam said he didn't need that win. Lie.
Well, it was he was answering something else. He was not saying he did not need the win. I forget what the question was.
It was about how he felt about it?
No, it was he was not saying he didn't need the win. It was a different answer.
It was a different context.
Justin, if you could find what the question was before that.
All right.
Just to give the proper context.
Cam's got to celebrate life a little bit more. Because it's if that's the world, like respectfully, like to him and his mentality and his upbringing of always been the underdog and having to fight and claw and scratch and bite for everything that he's ever gotten in life, there are moments in which you got to sit back and just say, yeah, today is what it is, but it's a good day. And I feel like he said that a little bit, but the body language and acknowledgement of it just doesn't resonate to the other guys that are in the trenches with you. Like to me, it seems almost selfish to be like, well, if I've been around players before to where we lose, but they have great games and they're happy. But we win a real big game and they may only have, minimum stats and they're sad. Like, no, everybody on this team playing is ecstatic that we won the football game. So you should be also. Like the stuff that he said right then and there should be for team meeting rooms or the individual meetings with Bo Hardigree and stuff like that. His quarterback coach and offensive coordinator. Publicly saying that it's not enough. Yeah, it's cute. It's cool to say that to get people on your side. But in the NFL, Cam, as an OG to you, I would say that just ain't the reality of how this situation should have went. You should be happy that your squad. You shouldn't be a cheerleader about it. But there has to be the ability to celebrate when it's good.
Cam was 14 of 28 in this game, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick, a 70.1 quarterback rating. 4.2 yards per attempt, just 50% of his passes were completed. The analytics say he had a minus 13% completion percentage over expected and was pressured 44.8% of the time. Time to throw was down again in a good way.
Yeah.
2.69 seconds on average when he was getting the ball out. That is a great sign of progress. Justin, do you have what that question was going into that second quote? No?
Say that again.
Do you have what the question was going into the second quote, just for the full context?
How much did you need this personally? Just, I know it's a team game, but how much did you need this to get another win and get going?
All right, there you go. That was the question.
It was. How much did he need it?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You need to be able to, because we spoke about this, like these rookies, this young group of guys have to be in a position where they understand how to win in the football league. Like we spoke about what was their methods and how this team flowed and what they did good. And I feel like yesterday what they did good was get the ball out quick and run the football and finish. Like you saw everybody, I felt like, have fun doing those things yesterday. So, like I said, again, for Cam to say he did not need it, that's a lie. You kind of minimize
fair point.
The jobs of what everybody else did to get to that point. I don't care if you completed 50% of your passes. We as a team won, and you as a young guy can't live in darkness is what I would tell him.
Yeah, you're right. That was what the question was. So you were right the first time. I apologize.
No, all good.
I forgot. No. There's so many questions he's answered. I forgot which one that specifically was. But
I would just say to him, like, don't live in darkness. I saw in our YouTube chat somebody said it sounds like something what Kobe would say.
Darius said that on YouTube. That was my exact reaction last night hearing that. Yeah. It's like, that sounds like Kobe Bryant.
But that's OG Kobe, though, too, at the time. Like, you rookie Cam at this point. Like, be more like Arden right now until it's your team and you prove, that you're more capable of pulling your team to dubs. This wasn't a heartbreaking loss or, his mentality has to change a little bit. And hopefully whoever comes in and coaches him next will change that to say, be about us first. I feel like that question's very me.
Right. I agree.
And it was framed that way by PK too. Like, what did you need? And he answered. That was Terry McCormick?
Yeah.
Okay. It was framed as if, what did you need? And he made it about me. Should have just pushed it back to the team.
Yeah, I think honestly, like, again, you'd rather work with this than someone who's just not much of a leader and doesn't care.
Yeah, sure.
But it is still something for Cam to work on.
It is.
It's something to... He feels very tightly wound.
Yeah.
A little high strung. It's not a terrible thing. Again, of all the problems, this is probably the best one you can have.
It is, yes.
But it is something for him to grow in. to just take a deep breath and, we very happy to get the win. Again, like we're talking about press conferences. Like at the end of the day, these are things that come with time and maturity in the league. These are not red flags. They're not even really yellow flags. It's just kind of something that's happening.
That's it.
The thing I think is a little bit more of a red flag, Ramon, is the inaccurate passes down the field. We talk a lot about how in the NFL, you can teach a lot. At quarterback, the hardest thing to teach is what? Accuracy.
Yep.
Are you concerned with some of the inaccurate passes and how open some receivers are who are not being given the football by Cam Ward?
Yep, I do. We brought this up, I feel like, over the course of his short career so far, is that element of touch. I think we even spoke about the offseason where going into his training, he needs to be able to have those trash cans and those nets to where he's throwing into those 1, 2, and 3 moments to get a feel for it. But if you look at him throwing too, as far as what I know about throwing at the quarterback position, his feet usually aren't set. He's reeling the ball up from his hip all the way over his shoulder. It's a lot of movement, I feel like, in the passes that he's throwing to guys down the field, or just he don't have the feel for it right now. Now, the other part of it is it the players that he's throwing to? But in his position as the number 1 overall guy, that one to Chimray, he's supposed to hit that one, right? Like, we've seen those moments happen time and time again.
Touchdown, right?
Yeah, for a touchdown. Those are the layups that you take advantage of. So, yes, Will, this year, those passes have been problematic for him.
Chase is in the Borough up next. What's up, Chase?
In Cam Ward, we trust, is what I would like to say. I think that he just needs, an example in handling success as far as his press conference goes yesterday. I think, he hasn't had a lot of that in the first part of this league, obviously, or the first part of his career. So I think it just goes back to handling success as a young player. I also think I personally think, and I don't know if this is true, obviously, because I didn't get to ask him this question, but, I think because Shedeur had an excellent day yesterday, I think the competitiveness in him was disappointed that he didn't play up to the same level as maybe Shedeur had played to yesterday. I could be wrong, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, guys. Appreciate what you guys do, and love listening to you.
Thank you, Chase.
Appreciate it, Chase.
I think it's fair.
The differences in games that they had, too. I guess what Shedeur was able to look like. He had some touch. I can't lie.
Made some really good throws.
He made some real good throws. Heck, the one that he threw to Ajuku,
David
Njoku, was the harder pass. He had his tight end across the middle. He should have just dropped it off to
corner of the end zone for the first touchdown. Yeah.
For the first touchdown. He did make some plays. We'll talk more about those.
We will.
Yeah.
But I think it's fair to say that for a guy that Cam has worked out with and trained with in the offseason for years, along with quarterback coach Daryl Colbert, who we've had on the show before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that could be an element to this. This is just who Cam is. And this is what you signed up for. And it's part of the reason why you signed up for him being your franchise quarterback is that guy is going to come into your locker room and reset the culture in a very aggressive way.
Which one do you want? Do you want the dub or do you want better stats, Cam? It's kind of the way you got to look at that the performances between he and Shedeur. The perception is Shedeur had a better statistical day yesterday. He also had to throw 42 passes. You know what I'm saying?
He was pressured over 60% of the time yesterday.
A lot. And this is how you grow to me if I'm talking to Cam.
I agree. The other difference in how those two played, Cam Ward played the Browns defense and Shedeur Sanders played the Titans defense. And the Titans defense won them this game yesterday. Make no mistake. I mean, the turnovers and the blocked punt are the difference in this football game because everything else was somewhat equal. And then once things are equal, Cleveland then goes 2-minute and really separated on the stat sheet what they were able to do versus what you were doing because you went conservative to just protect the football, which is what you do. However, there are a lot of quarterbacks that have struggled against that Cleveland Browns defense this year. A lot of running backs who have too, and Tony Pollard ran for 161.
He ate yesterday.
Certainly did. 35 for 184 for the Titans. Would have been even more without an illegal shift penalty that negated a 35-yard Tajay Spears run as well. Coming up, let's shift gears, shall we?
I know.
We've got a college football playoff bracket up.
Do it.
And we react to what the committee did and the one big change in the standings that happened yesterday. Coming up next.
For many of us, it's happening. Your hair is thinning, your crown's disappearing. Maybe hair loss has you feeling your identity is lost altogether. Well, I've got good news. It's an incredible yet simple one-day treatment that starts growing your own natural hair the very next day, and is guaranteed to grow for life. It's the Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly subscriptions. They help retain what you have, but what if you want your own natural hair permanently in specific areas? From Advanced Hair state-of-the-art facilities to the world-class doctors, it's not maybe your hair will grow, it's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. You decide how much and how thick and where. It's Advanced Hair. It's why Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, and I recommend them to everyone. For your free consultation and $250 off and 250 free hair grabs, call 629-348-HAIR. That's 629-348-HAIR. Visit our website at advancedhair.com.
Hey, what's up? It's Will Bowling. Do you have a plumbing issue at home? Whether it is a leaky faucet, a clogged drain, or a water heater that's gone cold, I'm here to tell you the plumbing professionals at Lee Company have your back. Available 24/7 year-round, Lee Company's licensed technicians can save you time, money, and all the stresses that come with an ill-timed plumbing issue. Ill-timed can mean in the holiday season as well. When you've got people staying in the guest room, you've got aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters, parents. Everybody's coming in town this holiday season. You want to make sure that everything in your home is working the way that it's supposed to. Just contact Lee Company. You hand them their to-do list. They take care of all of it for you. You just contact their award-winning team online at leecompany.com. Available 24/7 year-round. Put the very best players on your team with Lee Company. Whether it's a leaky faucet, clogged drain, or a water heater that's gone cold, check them out online at leecompany.com. That's Lee Company. All you need. Ramon and Will, 104.5 The Zone, at Ramon and Will on Twitter. You can stream the show, 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Justin Hawkins spinning the hits. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, 615-737-1045. How you jump in. So the college football playoff is set. And the committee did what we warned you they might do a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame out. Alabama safe, Miami in, and how about the Dukes of James Madison making it as the 12 seed? The disaster scenario for the ACC happened, and they still somehow got a team in. Ramon, what was the thing you had the biggest issue with? Out of all of the decisions the College Football Playoff Committee made, what was the worst one that they made?
The worst one that they made... I'm saying this based off the opinions of others.
Okay.
Group of 5 don't belong in the college football playoffs.
Okay, well, but that's not a decision they can make.
I know it's not their decision, but the conversation, I'm saying this is based off what I've seen. I personally don't have a problem with the who's that they put in at all.
I don't either.
I simply don't.
I feel like I got it right.
If you would have told me Notre Dame would have got in, I see a case for that. I 100% see a case for Notre Dame being in, Alabama being out. Alabama has the best win of anybody this year.
Probably the best win in the country.
The best win in the
Georgia's
country.
33-game home win streak.
On top of other ranked wins that they also have, too. Well, I personally don't have a problem with this at all. Only problem I have with it is the perception of the talking heads and the people that are clamoring for other teams to be in or other teams to be out. And that's the reason I bring up the group of 5 conversation. I'm not saying that JMU does not belong in. I think they do. This is the rules that they've set for JMU to be in this thing. So guess what? They deserve to be in. They proved to themselves. The biggest issue I personally have is the fact that the ACC has caused this entire conundrum that has caused these other group of 5 teams to be in this college football playoffs. The fact that Tulane is in and JMU is in, blame the ACC, because why in the hell was Duke playing against Virginia in the ACC championship? And Duke ends up winning the football game, and a lot of credit to them for winning it, but why isn't Miami winning it? Why isn't Miami playing in it? This is, to me, the result of these super conferences that we're attempting to have.
Yep.
And it sucks because now the shots that JMU and Tulane are getting are unwarranted because y'all set the rules in order for us to be in, and y'all suck because y'all don't have the cojones to say, yes, sorry, Duke, but y'all don't deserve to play in this. Miami, go ahead and play Virginia.
Well, it also means that you get 2 rematches of the 4 first-round games we have in a week and a half.
Yes.
You get Tulane at Ole Miss, and you get Alabama going to Norman to take on Oklahoma. Bloated conferences with unbalanced schedules created this mess. And the fact that in a massive ACC that had to combine all of these different schools on different coasts just to stay together as a conference and continuing to have an operating budget and stay together, created this. That's not just on the ACC. That's on the SEC.
Yes, it is.
That's on the Big Ten. That's on Oregon. That's on USC, Texas, Oklahoma. Like, all of those decisions created a world where this could happen and be possible, where Duke at 7-5 could win an ACC championship and go to 8-5. The adjustment, if you missed it yesterday, is that there's already a rule change because, as Stephen Godfrey says, this sport hates a usurper. College football hates it when a non-traditional pathway is given to the have-nots in the sport versus the haves. So now under a new MOU that was signed, guaranteed spots go to conference champions from the ACC, Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, and highest-ranked G5, and also Notre Dame, who now will be given a guaranteed spot in the college football playoff if they're in the top 12. Notre Dame, who isn't at a conference. Here's the thing. The committee took a really bad pathway to the right decision. We've been saying it for a month at this point. The way this committee evaluated Notre Dame was really weird to me. Really weird to me. With no real signature win, with 2 losses to teams that were in their pods, in their areas, that they weren't being penalized for until Miami was right behind them. And then once BYU lost the Big 12 title game to Texas Tech, then you finally judge Miami and Notre Dame together. Then it's like, oh, well, then now head-to-head matters. Head-to-head should have always mattered. The way that we are putting a television show on Tuesday nights leading into college basketball and a Maction and a whatever the heck else ESPN is putting on television, it's just that, Ramon, a television show. It's theater. The real ranking yesterday is all that really matters. The committee, again, is opening itself up to a lot of criticism by opening the door to their process. Because let's face it, Miami and Notre Dame's resumes are pretty much identical. Yeah. What do you do when two resumes are identical? You give the nod to the team that won when those two teams played head-to-head. I have no issue with that decision being made. I have a big issue with the way they got there, because you are telling me that BYU gets penalized for losing in a conference championship game, but Alabama doesn't? Because if one is true, then the other one can't be true. So again, these shouldn't be live standings that get changed from them. Take the totality of the entire resume on the first Sunday in December and rank the teams. I don't need to know where they were the week before or the month before, the month and a half. It doesn't matter. What matters is the first Sunday in December. The committee got it right. Their process to get there was totally screwed up.
It was. Notre Dame, I would also suggest, get into a conference. This settles at least some of this conversation.
Not anymore.
I know it doesn't.
Because the MOU signed yesterday now tells them if they're in the top 12, they're guaranteed.
This shouldn't be the case for them. And also the middle finger that they're giving all the bowls right now also is crybaby.
It absolutely is.
It's crybaby.
I'm glad you brought that up, because Notre Dame declined a bowl invitation at 10-2.
They act like this is civil rights that they're doing right now. They act like they're fighting for like school lunches or something. They're giving you money to go play in a bowl game so that you can also help your team with a bigger, like there may be a kid somewhere in Florida, wherever they would go to, that becomes a Notre Dame fan because you go down. I'm like, I know that's small to them. Notre Dame don't need more fans. But what a crybaby antic that they displayed in front of the world yesterday because they didn't get into the CFP. You know who else deserves a cry in? Vanderbilt deserves. BYU deserves. Right? There's a conversation. Texas deserves, like, why I see why people don't like y'all.
Well,
like,
and I really respect what Clark Lee said yesterday. He was asked about it. Was there any consideration? And he said, no, we love playing football around here. Huh. What a concept.
He owned it.
A football team that wants to, get this, play football. That's crazy.
You're mad at the system that was created for everybody?
And that really benefits you.
Yeah.
Like Notre Dame, like any chance of Notre Dame joining a conference
is dumb.
Was prolonged after that yesterday, because now they get guaranteed a spot if they are in the top 12.
It's so done.
So they have no reason to join.
On top of you don't want to show your NBC money?
They're treated as their own conference at this point.
Why is that the case? Like I said, like, whoever the powers that be at Notre Dame that made this decision, whether it's Marcus Freeman, whether it's their AD, whether it's their council, whatever it is that said, we're not going to go play football because we're taking our football home and screw y'all. That's so childish to me in so many different ways. And it ruins the sport. I retweeted somebody out yesterday, I forget who it is, that said the world in which, I think it's Brent McMurphy, is that his name? Brett McMurphy?
Brett McMurphy on 3.
He said he ended up talking to somebody, an AD at a school, that said the bowl season in which we formerly had is done. We'll never get this back. The bowl season to me was the payoff in which you were allowed to go celebrate the season that you had or winning enough games. And I know the money is skewed that in the NIL world, and you don't need that PlayStation 5 and all that type of stuff anymore. Like, we enjoyed the gifts. But there's fans in these cities that want to come see you play football that may not get an opportunity to go to South Bend. They may not get an opportunity to go to the West End or to Tuscaloosa or to friggin' Knoxville. I'm okay with the Vols playing in the Music City Bowl. Yep. I think it's all right. Because now the people that can't afford those tickets in Knoxville get an opportunity to come see them on a Tuesday, man, and it's cool.
It's interesting you bring that up because, like, last year after the loss to Ohio State, I was talking to my family, talking to my dad, and it was like, it feels kind of weird not planning a bowl trip this year. Because for us, like, that was our vacation.
Yeah, no doubt.
wherever Tennessee was growing up, that was your vacation to go see the bowl game.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I also grew up in an era where a lot of times there weren't vacations because Tennessee wasn't in the bowl game. We then had to plan otherwise once those years happened. But it continues an upsetting trend, Ramon, in college football, that the fan and what the fan wants is the last thing on the list of priorities for decision makers in this sport.
Mm-hmm.
Fans want to go see, get this, their favorite football team play football. What a crazy concept.
Wow.
In a warm weather city, a vacation during the holiday season, Christmas gifts. And again, this is not the biggest issue facing college football right now. But the issue that is facing college football is the fans' wants and needs are last on the list of why decisions are made in college football. Yeah. This is just another example of that. I actually thought the thing the committee got the most wrong was in the top 4. What has Ohio State done to be ranked ahead of Georgia?
That's fair.
Georgia just pantsed Alabama live on national television in Atlanta. And by the way, equaled the amount of wins the Atlanta Falcons have in Mercedes-Benz Stadium this year on Saturday.
Dang.
Sorry, Stephen Godfrey, if you're listening. I don't understand what Ohio State did to earn the second spot.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Because again, it's the inconsistency on how we judge what the conference championship game means. Alabama and Georgia were not moved at all.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State got moved from 1 to 2 for losing to Indiana. That conference championship game meant something. BYU was moved out. Virginia moved. I have no idea what Ohio State did or who they beat to earn the ability to be ranked ahead of Georgia, who is absolutely peaking at the right time.
I'm glad you brought that up, though, too. You say you don't know what Ohio State did. Well, it's what they showed us. It's what they said also, too, on the committee, the conversation that they all had. Who's the Arkansas athletic director?
Hunter
Yurachich. He even spoke about the talent differences between Notre Dame and Miami. You have Nick Saban that gets on and was, can I say pissed? He was pissed. I'm talking about absolutely livid.
Yeah.
Erratic about the idea that Tulane and James Madison University got into the college football playoffs. There's what I told you. I had a mild take. It ain't a hot take. It's a mild take. In the United States of America, in the sport of football, y'all can kill it with the, hey, I love the Cinderella story in football. You don't love it in football. You love it in basketball. You love it when baseball does it and there's a run in the World Series.
I don't even think we love it that much in basketball, Ramon, because the TV ratings and Cinderella-heavy Final Fours are significantly lower.
But it's cool to talk about.
It's cool to like the Cinderella until you've got to watch the Cinderella play.
Not in football. Right. You don't even want it from the get-go. No. That's what I got. And that's what Yurachich said this yesterday. That's what Nick Saban told us also. I don't even know why we're having this conversation. It legitimately needs to be an NIT, bowl season for the others. It's kind of the way I'm looking at it right now. And maybe I'm wrong in my stance on it, but to say there's fairness in college football, no, it's not. If you want to be good, I saw Vols fans this weekend complaining about Michigan State, a donor putting up $500 million for the football program. Well, they have to. They're far behind. Michigan State hadn't been relevant since the early 2000s, okay? But, everybody wants this elusive national championship. And even the people consuming it, the people controlling it for the other part. I had somebody text me a second ago just mentioning Notre Dame's, not wanting to be on ESPN as a part of the reason they said no to it, too.
Ridiculous.
The money of it all. But here's what I would tell you about the little guys in this conversation, too. JMU is going to feast. Tulane is going to feast off this college football playoff money to reset their program so that not everybody's going D1. And all they've told us is Nick Saban is Nick Saban ain't no front runner, but these elitist football fans is that we don't want y'all small schools. That's why I'll be quite honest with you. In the end, that's why I think Vanderbilt got screwed over.
Yeah.
They don't want to see you be a part of this unless you overly justify your reasoning for being in it. And that sucks when you play in this game and trying to ultimately win a championship or make it to the next level. They don't want the small schools in or the non-reputation schools.
I don't think that's totally fair.
The talking heads don't.
I don't think that's totally fair because Notre Dame got knocked out. Notre Dame's as big a brand as there is in college.
Well, it's the first time ever that Notre Dame's ever got knocked out of anything like this.
I don't think it's as much brand. I think They prioritize something different every year as their most important criteria. It mattered who your best win was. It really mattered who your best win was this time around. But again, the inconsistency of that, if that's the case, Georgia needs to be back up at 2 and Ohio State needs to come down to 3. A lot of inconsistencies. The one thing that is for sure out of all of this, I disagree with what Kirk Herbstreit said on the broadcast of all of this. Going to 16 is not going to make this any better.
No, it's not.
Now, the playoff is going to expand. If there's one thing that we know out of all of this fiasco, when you have a 9-3 Texas that went to Ohio State as their third loss, and you have a 10-2 Vanderbilt who handled their business as much as they really could, aside from 2 really close road losses against really good teams, against borderline playoff team in one, playoff team in the other, you are going to get a system change. When those 2 teams are left out in the cold and James Madison and Tulane are in, the sport hates a usurper. The sport hates it when the little guy gets a seat at the table before one of the big guys does. And in this context, Vandy is one of the big guys because Vandy has that circular patch that says SEC on their jersey. Vandy is absolutely still a big guy. Make no mistake about it.
They are to us.
Not in the context of the SEC, but when you put that SEC patch on your uniform, you get the benefit of the doubt of the SEC brand and bias, because that absolutely exists.
I agree with you there.
When you have this many teams, it's just harder to differentiate good and really good than it was elite and really good. It was easier to differentiate 4, 5, and 6 than it is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And it's going to be the same thing, except it's going to be even harder with 16 teams to figure out who deserves to be in unless you have, and this is where I think they've got to go, tied into conference rankings that are set in stone. 1 through 5 in the SEC, or 1 through 4 in the SEC, 1 through 4 in the Big 10, 1 in the ACC, 1 in the Big 12. Like, make it about the conference races.
Yeah.
And less about using strength of record and FPI and, you beat 3 top 10 teams, but wait, now only one of those teams is actually ranked. Like, just make it about the conference races, expand the conference schedules, and all of this gets a lot easier.
Well, the ACC got to clean up their mess first and figure out how they're going to do their conference championships. Well, they're going to have a North and South division.
Go to 9 conference games. It's easier to play a more competitively balanced conference schedule. And if you had guaranteed spots for making the ACC championship game with a more balanced schedule, now we can work with something.
That's silly, though.
All of it is very silly. Very silly. This is a very, very good sport. It's a process of a committee sitting in a room looking at a bunch of numbers with a bunch of guys who don't even watch all the games, and many of them who are hiring coaches as these important games were happening.
I also add, before we go to break and have to take these calls, I didn't think BYU deserved to be in.
I didn't either.
Okay.
I didn't either. No, it was always between Miami, Notre Dame, and Alabama. And I know a lot of Tennessee fans complain about it. A lot of SEC teams are complaining about it. There was never any chance Alabama was going to get kicked out of the playoff for losing in a game that they earned the right to play in.
Best win on the slate of all the teams. Only one I think that would be better is not in is Texas versus Texas A&M, but
Agreed.
they're not in.
Agreed. Look, like, it was never going to happen. The number 1 seed of the SEC championship is never getting left out of the college football playoff. Ever. Ever, ever. And I know a lot of people complain about it because they hate Alabama. You got to take off the orange tinted glasses or the Auburn tinted glasses or whatever. Alabama earned the right to play an extra game. Just because they got stomped in the extra game does not take away their right to play playoff football. Because they earned the right to get stomped, which means that they had the advantage over a lot of other teams. We'll go to break. We'll get to your thoughts. 615-737-1045. Peyton, Chris, Andrew, and more thoughts coming up next.
Guys, you'll wish you had started TRT sooner. Don't you just want to know what your level is? You can find out with a free TRT test at Synergex and Low T Center. You can walk in before 10 a.m. or book ahead at fixmylowt.com. That is the website that you use, man. There was a guy that said he wanted to find out his T levels, man. Said since he turned 40, he'd been tired, not really having the energy the way he needed to, and he goes in and get tested, and his levels were below 300. I'm here to tell you, you're barely operating if you're below 300, man. Your mood swings are there, your ability to want to get active. I mean, just a whole lot of other personal things that are become an issue when that's the case for you, man. You can get a free TRT test at Low T Center, man. And I promise you this, we tell you all the time, we worry about what the outside of our body looks like. We need to worry about what's going on the inside. And Low T and Synergex can fix that for you. To go get a free TRT test, man, and see what your levels are, you can walk in, as I told you, before 10 a.m. or go ahead and book it at fixmylowt.com.
Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone rolls on. Wrapping up hour number 2, 615-737-1045. Loaded phone lines talking college football. We'll get back to the Titans win over the Browns coming up in a half hour. Your thoughts as well. There is never a line in the F&M Bank chat. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Leading us off on playoff discussion, Peyton is up first in Hendersonville. Good morning, Peyton.
Morning, Peyton.
Hey, good morning, Ramona Will. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Thanks for asking.
Good. So I got a little pushback on something y'all said. Quite a few things y'all said. Y'all keep on sitting up here and saying Notre Dame needs to join conference, Notre Dame needs to do this, Notre Dame needs to do that. Ramon, if you had let's just say Ramon College, okay, you were this big brand.
RC.
Mm-hmm.
Fox came to you and said, you're independent. I'm going to pay you $50 million a year to broadcast your home games.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go join a conference, not get our money, because we are with the ACC, so technically we'd have to have ESPN, I think, owns the ACC because they do a lot of broadcasting of their games. So we would lose all of that money. And when we do make it to the playoffs, or a bowl game, we don't split our money with anybody. Why would we want to join a conference strictly from a money standpoint? And my second point is Todd Furman which I already knew this, but Todd Furman got on 3HL on, I think it was Thursday or Friday, and said that Vegas thinks that Notre Dame is the second best team in the country.
Yeah.
Talking heads all across the board have said that this team legitimately can win a national championship. And yes, I am a Notre Dame fan, but I don't have blue and gold tinted glasses. I'm very hard on my Irish. Last year, I did not think we had any business making it to a national championship because of Riley Leonard. This year, they laid out the lines. We were 5.5-point favorites over Georgia, 10.5-point favorites on the road at Norman. 2.5-point favorites against Alabama.
Yeah, thank you for the call, Payne. We got a lot of people on the line, so we do have to move on. But your point's taken.
But you can't complain.
Vegas respected Notre Dame quite a bit.
Yeah, they did. But, that's, of course, they know that Vegas, people are going to put a lot of money on Notre Dame, though, too. The issue that I have with that stance about why would you join, I completely agree with you. I wouldn't share my money either, but you can no longer complain about these type of situations moving forward either. And now you don't have to because you're the only group that have separate rules from everybody else. And you're that privileged to do it. And that's, you know what, until somebody else does it or you get forced out of these situations moving forward, more power to you.
If Vegas odds had any place within this process, then why even play the season? Peyton, I understand your point that you would have been favored in a lot of these games, and the odds makers like you versus obviously Tulane, James Madison, and even Miami. If that's the case, then just put in the 12 teams that Vegas thinks have the best power rating and just don't play the season. Save a lot of injuries that way. That doesn't matter. The resumes and the games have to matter. And the game that matters within this is that Miami beat you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. Vandy Chris is up next. Good morning, Chris.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
I got 2 quick points. The first point is on the G5 schools. If you don't want these teams to be included in the college football playoffs, I want to see every person that says that be the first person in line to send their AD an email or a letter saying to stop playing them and padding your record with them. Because much like people say the G5 don't play anybody, a team like Notre Dame, they won 10 straight games, but 5 of those wins came against 5 teams that are the worst of the worst in the Power 4 and combined for a 13-47 record.
Cook, Chris.
But my second point, all the bowl opt-outs from all of these teams yesterday, here's the way to fix that. If you have won enough games to qualify for a bowl, you're obligated by your conference to represent your conference. Guess what? If you forfeit a bowl win or a bowl invitation, you automatically forfeit another invitation the following year, including a playoff spot. If you're going to opt out 1 year, you're getting punished, and you don't get to go back next year either. I thought I'd propose that idea to you, let you guys talk about that a little bit and see what you think.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I don't think it's a bad idea. I think the bigger issue is when and where players can move. If you moved up the season to the end of August and you had a transfer portal window that actually happened in the offseason,
yeah.
and you didn't have all of these players going ahead and telling coaches they're going to enter the portal. I mean, it's not a total fix. I mean, the portal opens January 2nd, the day after the quarterfinals. Maybe that's part of it that helps, because so many of these teams don't want to play because it's like, well, who's on our team right now? Guys are already going ahead and opting out, and I know the portal doesn't open until the 2nd, but like, you think their agents aren't fielding calls, having conversations? And then, two, you are also scouting the portal and trying to figure out, all right, well, who's in the portal? Who can I talk to? Who can we bring in at quarterback? Who are we hosting on visits? Like, things like that. So there's not one fix to it. I just think the bowl system has been left behind in all the changes of the sport.
Yeah,
there's not one way you're going to totally fix it. Because a lot of those teams, you say, all right, well, you're giving up next year's bowl too. They're going to be like, okay, cool. If we're not in the playoff, then that's fine.
It don't matter.
And if you're never going to be able to tie playoff qualification to it.
I think the more and more we talk, the closer and closer we're going to get to a 64-team playoff in college football.
Oh, God. 64, I don't think we'll ever see in our lifetime.
I know we won't, but like,
I mean, if the Big Ten gets their way, maybe.
Point, we're loaded with calls because there's no clear answer, and I kind of want to get to an answer on this.
Again, the format that I am in favor of is the Big Ten's 4-4-2-2-1-3 model in a 16-team playoff. 4 automatic bids for the SEC and Big Ten, where you would have the 2 teams that make their way to the conference championship game get automatic spots in the playoff. Then you have 3 play 6 and 4 play 5 in a play-in weekend in Atlanta, and you don't play a conference championship game. You basically give those teams a bye, because the only way you're going to take away conference championship games is if you make money for the conferences in the process, because those are big money makers. All right, well, then play 2 games, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, and play-in weekend. The 2 teams that make the ACC and Big 12 championships get in, 1 G5, and then 3 at-larges. That is how you fix the college football playoff. One of them anyways. You're going to move up the calendar, but that's a separate conversation. More of your phone calls coming up, 615-737-1045. We will lead off with Andrew. We'll also talk about the Heisman Trophy. Did Fernando Mendoza win the Heisman on Saturday night with a win over Ohio State? That's next.
It's Ramon Foster from Medical House Calls. That is the website, medicalhousecalls.com. I don't know if y'all heard me last week, man, but they are available to you 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. I had a little bit of I was under the weather a little bit last week, man. And I was just like, I cannot go through this. It's about to get cold outside. I got stuff I got to do. So I hit them up, man, on the website. I ended up texting them. Yes, they make it that easy, too. You can text them at 615-838-2375, and the show ends at 10. I had somebody in my house to administer me an IV by 11:15. I'm here to tell you, they're just good. If you got any issue that's going on where you just need a bounce back, you're just feeling a little bit under the weather, you're trying to beat that flu or that sickness or just that ick that you have going on, well, I'm here to tell you that they do that for you. I'm talking about immune boosting blends, rapid rehydration, energy boost. But here's the other part of it, too. They'll give you a full evaluation and exam, treatment plans, and they can also administer prescriptions if you need them, too. It's not just IVs. It's whole health, and they're bringing back the concierge directly to you at your doorstep 7 days a week. Again, go to medicalhousecalls.com, or you can call or text them at 615-838-2375.
8:03, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans take down the Cleveland Browns 31-29 in their most complete game of the season and secure their second win of the year. Cam Ward threw for 2 touchdowns for the first time of his career, and Tony Pollard had a career high in rushing as he rushed for 161 yards and 2 scores. The Titans' offensive line allowed just 1 sack on the day and held Myles Garrett to his second lowest pass rush win rate of his career at just 4%. The Titans' defense forced an interception, a fumble, and accrued 2 sacks on the day. Jeffrey Simmons with 1.5 of those sacks. Then special teams got in on the mix as well in the fourth quarter as James Williams Sr. blocked a punt. It was the first Titans blocked punt since back in 2012. In college football, the playoffs are now set. Indiana's the top seed after beating Ohio State in the Big Ten championship on Saturday. Ohio State's now number 2. SEC champion Georgia is number 3, and Big 12 champion Texas Tech sits at number 4. Then Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, Miami, Tulane, and James Madison round out the 12-team bracket. Locally, Vanderbilt, after their 10-win season, they're headed to the ReliaQuest Bowl in Tampa Bay to face Iowa on New Year's Eve, and Tennessee is headed to Music City Bowl in Nashville and will face Illinois on December 30th. For all your finish, repair, and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show getting started on Reaction Monday. For the first time since October the 6th, it is a victory Monday for the Tennessee Titans. 31-29 over the Browns. We'll get back to that here in 15 minutes. Was yesterday a good day for the Titans? Curious on your thoughts. We'll certainly have ours as well. 615-737-1045. Streaming live at 1045 The Zone TV. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Ramon Foster, did Fernando Mendoza win the Heisman on Saturday night?
Yeah. Simply put, yes. Yes, he did. Underdog story, so there's a storyline. Indiana's not supposed to be here. Fernando Mendoza's not supposed to be here. Check that box. Go undefeated, check that box. In the college football playoffs, check that box. Did something unique, check that box. Has 2 moments this year. The Penn State comeback game, check that box. He's got the numbers. He's got the wins. And you beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, check that box too. I know the conversation of Diego Pavia's got 1,000 more yards than him. But if we're talking about...
No, he doesn't.
He does in total yardage.
Total yardage, yeah.
Mendoza's not a runner.
Yeah, he's not a runner. But it goes to... This to me is like Matt Leinart type situation to me. Just be quite honest with you. It just lines up with just checking every single box you're supposed to, especially when you play that quarterback position and you're part of not an elite brand as far as Indiana football goes, but an elite conference as far as the Big Ten goes. So, yeah, I think he wins it. I thought he won it, most definitely.
He is the heavy favorite now.
Minus 3,000?
Minus 3,000. I think DraftKings had it last night at minus 2,000 now. Diego Pavia plus 1,000. He won the Heisman Saturday. Fernando Mendoza did. That was his moment. Johnny Manziel complained about it because that's Diego Pavia's boy now, saying, really, we're giving Heisman's out over one fade pattern, one fade route?
That's all he ever did. He had Mike Evans. Brother. You got, what's his name, Becker? From
Charlie Becker from Father Ryan, Nashville, Tennessee.
Charlie Becker cooked. Okay?
Charlie B. from Nashville, Tennessee.
Charlie B. all the way from Nashville is what they kept saying.
Called his high school games at Father Ryan. Kids always just been that.
Listen to me.
Just catches a football.
Probably a 3-star, right? Charlie, get into college and develop, man. That's why I be telling y'all, stop chasing to the stars.
Go to the right coach.
Go to the right coach.
Curt Cignetti is doing more with the talent that he has than any other coach in college football. It is one of the all-time great coaching jobs in college football, what Curt Cignetti has done with Indiana this year. To compare the stats between Diego Pavia and Fernando Mendoza, who I think finish 1 and 2, likely Mendoza 1, Pavia 2. Mendoza, 226 at 316, 71.5% completion, 2,980 yards, 33 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And Pavia, 242 at 340, 71.2% completion, 3,192 passing yards. Again, you mentioned the rushing, 826 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns, 27 passing touchdowns to 8 interceptions. 2 differences in their resumes here. Again, yards per attempt, yards per completion, pretty much the same. Very similar in the way these two guys were able to win games this season. Fernando Mendoza has better wins. Now, we can argue whether or not he's the reason why they won some of those games because he's got a heck of a defense.
It's true.
But the committee will see a win at Oregon where he goes 20 of 31 for 215. A win over Illinois, 21 of 23 for 267. The insane finish against Penn State, and then the lasting impression is what matters here against Ohio State. Heisman voters remember the last thing that they saw. The last thing that they saw Fernando Mendoza in Indiana do was beat a team that was seen as otherwise unbeatable. Because let's be honest, not a lot of people gave Indiana much of a chance to win that game.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I was Bab's husband, Travis. Shout out to him. He went up with 20 friends this weekend. I was thinking to myself, man, it's gonna be cool. Y'all get to share that moment right there together and go party after the game, knowing you gave a great effort. No, they won.
I think it's Mendoza. I would have Mendoza 1, Pavia 2, probably Jeremiah Love 3.
Love, yeah.
If I was a voter, I'm not. But I think it's Fernando Mendoza for the signature wins as the tiebreaker between two pretty similar stat sheets. Yeah. I think the other difference is Fernando Mendoza was taken out in the second half a lot because Indiana was up by 50 points so many times this season. I think that's the difference. I think against South Carolina, Alabama, LSU, and Missouri, the fact that Diego Pavia did not throw for 200 yards in any of those games is the difference. Mendoza beat those teams. Pavia beat those teams too, except for Alabama, but he didn't throw for 200 yards in any of them. That's what these committee members are mostly watching the big games. And fairly or unfairly, we could argue whether this is the way it should be. I'm just telling you, in my opinion, it's the way that it is the fact that those quote-unquote signature wins where committee members are watching as a captive audience make the difference.
The 2 bigs that Vanderbilt lost to, Alabama and Texas, in the same situation, Indiana beat those 2 bigs in Oregon and Ohio State. That, to me, also, I think, gives a tip of the cap to Fernando Mendoza, too.
Let's go back to the phones. Andrew is in Portland up next. Good morning, Andrew.
Morning, Andrew.
Good morning. The only hardware the Pavia family's taken home from New York is a pair of handcuffs to one of the brothers, I'm sure.
Wow.
Listen, you got to get it out. They beat the crap out of us, so, they deserve that.
I'm with you.
I was front row to watch them get arrested, too, by the way. Anyways, moving on. The college football playoff. So here's my thing. Nick Saban said this on College Game Day one day, and I agree with him 100%. They need to adopt for not only for coaching moves and player moves and the portal and everything else. They need to just go ahead and adopt the NFL format. I don't know how it's going to look, but there's no way you can tell me that JMU or Tulane deserves a playoff spot over, unfortunately, Vanderbilt, right? Notre Dame, the teams that are clearly better than them. On top of that, if the game is played, it shouldn't matter, in my opinion. They are teeter-tottering on the bowl format and the playoff format. The extra games, look, BYU got knocked out because they lost in their conference championship, but Alabama didn't, right? So, they need to go one way or the other, in my opinion. And if they're going to continue the playoff thing, they just need to adopt it. They need to determine which teams are the NFL-style teams and which teams are the leagues below that, right? Your whatever the AFLs and the CFLs and all that other crap is, and adopt it and just fully commit to it. Because right now it's a joke, in my opinion. That's all I got, fellas.
No doubt.
Thank you, Andrew.
So do you?
The challenging thing is you're not going to know for certain what level those teams are on until they play the big guys. Like Boise State pulled off an upset last time around. Arizona State, who is, again, not really given much of a chance, was 1 4th down away from beating Texas and getting to the semifinal a season ago. I don't think you can totally, and this will happen, but probably, you can't totally upend the format because this is just a weak year for the G5. There's not a G5 team built like a Power 4 team this year.
That's fair.
Tulane's pretty good. JMU, Alonzo Barnett, people are going to get introduced to him. Wayne Knight, good running back. Like, I can talk about the Dukes. I'm marrying into a JMU family, all right? There's not that team this year. That's not a guarantee, though, that there will never be
right
a G5 team that's built like a P4 team. Because last year's Boise State with Ashton Genty, those teams are going to continue being put together and continue to happen as long as they keep somewhat of a seat at the table. And they're always going to get at least one spot in the college football playoff, however you spin it.
Fascinating. I don't know. I saw somebody mention it earlier in our group chat, and I've brought this up before. They need a commissioner. They need a division, maybe at the halfway point to see how it unfolds. But it's hard to because there's 162 college teams, too, to manage and kind of break down. Like, you're right. You almost want to do an East and a West when it all boils down to, like, how their games and teams are set up. But it's just too much. That's why the bowls were so big. I almost feel like the college football playoffs has overcomplicated it. The BCS was a simpler process and more opportunities given in the college football playoff scenario, and that's what you want, is to play your way into it. But this has made it to where last year, the Vols go to Ohio State and lose. Like, where's the bowl season, to your point? Like, there's no real send-off for what this is other than this a big play-up into, even in the NFL, you get a check behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get nothing from the college football playoff semifinals or quarterfinals.
Yeah, Boise State last year were 12-2. They were the 3 seed. They lost to 6 seed Penn State 31-14. They were kind of in that game late. I mean, that was 17-14 in the third quarter. The way the seeding worked last year gave Boise State a seed that they did not really earn. But Boise State deserved to be in the college football playoff a season ago. That team is not always going to be there. It was last year. I don't think it is this year. I don't think Tulane's got much of a shot. In Oxford, and unfortunately, JMU's got a big mountain to climb in Eugene, Oregon.
They're going to get a hell of a bag, though.
I did learn how hard it is also to get from Nashville to Eugene, Oregon.
It's pretty hard.
Yeah, it's just a hard place to get to.
Is it? No, didn't realize that. I had to leave the flights on a break just for the heck of it.
Yep. 615-737-1045. We'll get as many calls as we can. We'll talk Titans. Was yesterday a good result for the Titans, weighing the cost and benefit of winning, taking you out of the number 1 overall pick, but also you won a football game? We'll dive into that coming up next.
Is your concrete in need of repair? Maybe your sidewalk has shifted on you. Your driveway cracked and sinking, or your porch steps maybe have moved. Shifting concrete can create a dangerous situation, just trip hazard around your home. It's also just a big eyesore. Shimon Foster, and whatever is going on with your concrete, call United Structural Systems. Ask them about their polyurethane foam injections. You've heard about USS for a long time. It's the same company that's provided superior foundation repair and waterproofing to Middle Tennessee since 1994. Well, they can also fix your sunken or settling concrete. USS uses polyurethane foam injections to lift and repair your sinking concrete in a matter of minutes. Lifted concrete can be walked on immediately or even driven on after about 30 minutes. So, don't go through that long, expensive process of ripping out and replacing concrete. Reach out to the company I trust for a free estimate, man. You can go to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com, or call them at 615-488-7855, United Structural Systems.
Moving is so stressful, and if you are relocating, you want to, maybe you have to, what you have to do is reach out to Bernie Gallerini. Get the very best person to represent you and to help you through the process. Hey, it's Will Bowling for my good friend Bernie Gallerini of Bernie Gallerini Real Estate. For Daniela, the home buying journey couldn't have gone smoother. With help from Bernie Gallerini Real Estate, she found her dream home on 5 acres in just 2 weeks. From Gallatin to White Bluff, the team worked tirelessly to find exactly what she was looking for. Their quick responses, attention to detail, and genuine care made the experience easy and enjoyable. Daniela couldn't be happier with the results, gives them 5 stars all the way, and I do as well. If you want a team that makes finding your dream home simple and stress-free, you got to call Bernie Gallerini Real Estate today, 615-428-2644. Bernie Gallerini guarantees to sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it. Yeah, it's that simple. No risk to you. He'll let you out of the contract at any time. Call him today, 615-428-2644, or check him out online at BernieGallerini.com. Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone, hour number 3, 615-737-1045. Going to get back to Titans discussion in a matter of seconds. Are you happy to have a win today, or are you team tank?
Ooh.
We'll get to that in a minute. We'll start with Jay in Spring Hill, though, on the college football playoff. Get a couple more college calls in here. What's up, Jay?
Paging.
Jay in Spring Hill, go ahead.
Spring Hill. Come on, Jay. Don't do us like this.
We'll get back to Jay in a minute. Alex in Nashville. Now, what's up, Alex?
Morning, Alex. Starting to believe it's a us
Alex,
problem.
are you there? Nope. 0 for 2.
Ain't no way. Jayhawk, what did you do? Huh? What you do,
Put a
Hawk?
curse on him.
What you do, Hawk? It has to be something.
Ron
Told him to
Slay
go away.
says.
Look, Jay's already left. Oh, maybe that's him calling back?
FIB, fix it, Bert.
Yeah, word Savage with the fix it, Bert.
FIB, fix it, Bert.
Fix it, Bert, Hawk. Come on, man. Yeah, I heard tripping. I hate to call you out like this, but it's Monday, and we can call out anybody on days like today, especially on the Victory Monday. Tell them, Will, you can get these hands on a day like today after people feeling good.
Let's try Jay again. Jay, do you have us now?
Hey, yeah, I do. Sorry, it just hung up on us. Hey, thanks for having me, and good to see you on YouTube. On the college football playoffs, this year's atmosphere was a little bit different because if you're a Tennessee fan, you were praying or crossing your fingers that they'd get a home game last year, which would just been insane for a playoff game. But something I wanted to share with you on DraftKings yesterday, this is just insane. They had college football playoff teams, to get in. It just said yes or no. And they had Alabama listed at negative 220 to get in, and I thought that was just kind of odd because I thought they were already in. But they had Miami, Florida, plus 185 if you said yes. And then they had Notre Dame at negative 10,000 to get in if you said yes. So you basically get no money. But if you said no, it was like plus 3,500. So I see the big shock in the disappointment or the projection. I heard you mention earlier about Vegas was big into Notre Dame. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting because DraftKings just doesn't give away money.
No,
so,
that's true.
I just thought that was insane when they did announcements. They mentioned Miami. I told my son, I was like, my God, I think they put like $10 and won like $350 on that thing. But anyway, I just thought that was intriguing. I know the Notre Dame fans are not happy about what happened, and I honestly think that it was so close that the final decision was head-to-head. I mean, they were so neck and neck that instead of flipping the coin, I think they finally used head-to-head in that scenario when they got in. But it would have been awesome to see all of them to get in my opinion.
Sure.
No doubt.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate the call.
And that head-to-head, you just couldn't justify putting Notre Dame over Miami. I mean,
it's just weird that they did all year. And then right at the very end, because BYU lost, they finally cared about head-to-head. You should have cared about head-to-head at the beginning of November.
And was wild about it is, who was it, Reese, I think, on ESPN, Reese Davis. He pretty much challenged the College Football Playoff Committee chairman.
Hunter Yurachek.
Yurachek. I'm going to get his name at some point. He ain't my AD. Yurachek. But he kept asking him, and I got to give it to Reese. Reese was just like, so you mean to tell me right now, like, since you needed the full body of work, you couldn't, like, this is how you make this decision right now? To your point, like, it should have been Miami over Notre Dame the entire time.
Right.
And they just said, no, we needed the full body work. Well, why are we doing this weekly show?
Bingo. Weekly show's not necessary. But it's...
I like it, though.
I mean, it's theater.
Yeah.
It's pro wrestling. It's television dollars.
Yeah.
But that's what rules the sport. Alex up next. What's up, Alex?
Morning, Alex.
Morning, gents. How we doing?
Good morning.
Yeah. So for the life of me, I don't understand why the College Football Playoff Committee has not adopted or looked more at what the FCS does. They've been doing 24 playoff teams for years with 11 automatic bids for winning a conference. The top 8 seeded teams get a first-round bye. The remaining 16 play. I don't understand why we don't do something like that. At the end of the day, you have 24 teams. 25 is always going to be pissed and think they should have got in over 23 or 24. However, if
once you get out of the top 25 in rankings and stuff like that, your case looks a little more dumb than the 13th, 14th best team in the country.
Yeah.
I don't understand why we don't adopt something like that. Now there's other semantics. The FCS plays 11 regular season games most years, except for when the calendar hits like it did this year. Then they play 12 like the FBS teams. But there's a model that is in front of us. Playoff games make money. We say the committee is all about the money. I don't understand why they don't do something more similar to that because the model's right there.
Well,
now, on the other...
Yeah, go ahead. You're good.
For the bowl, these teams letting pride get involved and like, oh, we're not going to the bowl game. Moan, I know you talk to college football coaches. Ask any coach. One of their favorite things about getting to a bowl game is not the trip, not all the stuff. It's the additional developmental practice time for your young guys.
Yep.
If you're playing a bowl game that's 3-4 weeks after the season, not one of the early ones, your first 2 weeks of practice, your starters are barely touching the field. It's all the young guys. It's all the guys you're developing for the next year or later on in your program for depth. Especially nowadays in NIL, it gives the coaches a chance to give the young dudes some attention so they just don't leave for any kind of opportunity. So to let pride make these guys decide, oh, you didn't pick us, so we're not going to play in your other TV game, they're hurting their program as a whole, and it's embarrassing.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate the call.
Great point.
Two things on the difference between FCS and FBS football. One of them we just saw happen. North Dakota State got upset by Illinois State. If you were not locked into the FCS playoff first round, first of all, what's wrong with you? Second of all, that's what happened, 29-28. There is more competitive balance in FCS football than there is FBS. I know that the same couple teams usually win it, somebody from the Dakotas or Montana, but the fact that that could even happen, where Illinois State could go to North Dakota State and win, the 24th or 25th or a team in the 20s is not going to Bloomington and beating Indiana. They're probably losing by 4 touchdowns. So that's the first thing. There are not as many teams that could pull off an upset early in FCS as there are in FBS as there are FCS. Second thing is FCS doesn't have conference championship games.
That's true.
That's the other thing. So there's a built-in week right now, the way FBS football is set up, that is taken, that FCS does not have taken, that you can give to an extra round of games because like North Dakota State they went 12-0 and they won their conference. There was no conference championship game. So I understand the point. I understand Alex's argument, but it's not a one-to-one comparison because FBS and FCS are just so different in terms of the way their schedules work. All right, let's talk about the Titans, Ramon.
Let's do it.
31-29 Titans over the Browns. Was yesterday a good day for the Tennessee Titans because they won? They go from 1 to 3 in the draft order, but it wasn't really because of Cam Ward. It was the ground game. It was Tony Pollard. It was special teams. It was defense. You good with that?
I am good with that. Because, again, he's a rookie. If he hadn't already at this start of the 2025 season had moment after moment after moment after moment, then it's not about Cam anymore and, just the totality of what this season is. It's about trying to figure out how Coach Mike McCoy can get this team to put a complete game together. And I thought yesterday, even with Cam throwing, 14 for 28? This was the more complete game that they've had for the entire year. It's not about him if you don't care about the number 1 overall pick and you're trying to find a culture in which you can win. You've heard the complaints from your team, from your leaders. Jeff, he's tired of losing. Peter Skoronski's tired of losing. So many guys are tired of losing. And yesterday, for the first time all year from the beginning, the 3 and out that the defense had to the offense being able to just drive the ball all the way down the field, you saw for the first time a complete game plan executed. And here's the thing about it. Football is full of mistakes. It's full of missed plays. It's full of bad plays, sacks, whatever. You went against probably the number 1 defensive player in the country, in the world right now, Myles Garrett, held him to 1 sack. Your defensive player on the other side of the ball, Jeffrey Simmons, had a better day than he did. 1 sack on the day, over 150 yards rushing from your premier running back, and young wide receivers got involved in the game. On top of the defense, even with their issues, having a good day too. And I know giving up 29 points, whatever it was, you don't want. But you beat a bad team that might be slightly better than you, to be quite honest with you, on the road. So, yeah, that's a great day for the Titans.
I agree. I don't think that you can be so obsessed with a tank at this point that you minimize the positives of finding ways to win football games. This franchise, this locker room, these young players who are going to be around need to learn how to win. And if that means Cam Ward has a subpar day, but also learns how to not screw it up, that's a win for you. Both literally in the sense that you get a check in the win column and long-term in that Cam Ward is learning how to win football games. Cam doesn't need to always throw for 250 or 300 plus in order for him to develop and for you to learn how to win with him on offense. Sometimes Cam learning how to minimize himself and just get out of the way is a really good thing. And I think yesterday, Ramon, for this football team, it was a great thing. Cam Ward did not play great. Cam Ward had a lot of moments where he just had to get the ball out of his hand quickly. One of his lowest time to throw numbers of the season this year. That's growth. That's development. That's not taking chances. And I know he had an interception. He wasn't perfect. He was far from perfect. Again, I just said he was subpar. He was not great. He said it after the game, which we'll play the audio of again if you missed it earlier. That's okay for this team right now. The fact that all three phases contributed to winning a football game is a significant development. This was not just the defense coming up with stops. They struggled at times too late, especially late in the game when they got gassed.
Bad tackling.
Special teams, a blocked punt. It's the first time you blocked a punt since Tim Shaw had done it, 2012. That's been on the whiteboard in the Titan special teams room for weeks now, where Bones Fossil said, I was shocked it had been that long. We want to change that. You changed a little bit of history for your organization yesterday, and your run game got back to what it was supposed to be really all season. Now, maybe we didn't expect 185 yards all season, but your run game got back to signs of competence, signs of progress, signs of, hey, this was always supposed to be a run-first offense, and then Cam Ward gets to benefit from that on play action, on deep passes, on setting up the run to make things easier on Cam Ward. So the schedule has been difficult. You finally benefited from it not being difficult for this game. Again, you've not played a lot of really bad teams. The Cleveland Browns are a bad team. They've got good parts. They got a really good defense. Yeah. It's not a great team. You should always want your players already on the team to develop first before you worry about developing the other ones. And here's the final thing I'll say in this before I throw it back to you. Your job is just to draft good players, not to always be so bad that you're guaranteed good players. See the difference in that? Look at Abdul Carter. He was supposed to be the most pro-ready guy for the New York Giants this year. Travis Hunter was seen as a generational two-way player. Neither of those guys had a really tremendous impact in either of their football teams this year. Jalen Noel of the Houston Texans was a player the Titans liked a lot in the process at wide receiver and punt returner. The Titans missed out on him. You know what they did? They went and found Chim Dike. You know what Chim Dike is doing right now? Leading the NFL in all-purpose yards. Your job is not to be tied to one spot in the draft, to one player, to one quarterback, to one trade scenario. Your job as Chad Brinker and Mike Borgonzi, and they're pretty dang good at it from this past draft, and Mike Borgonzi and Chad Brinker, this brain trust. They did a pretty dang good job putting together this draft class. Trust them to figure it out and build a winning culture as you do that. Yeah. That's what you are tasked to do. Your job is not to make things so bad that, now we're guaranteed good players because we're so bad. No, there is no guarantee, even if you do trade back and get multiple firsts. Look at how many times the Browns have been picking in the top 5 and the fact that they've had 23 losing seasons in 27 years? There is no guarantee that if you got the number 1 pick and traded back that you're going to be able to do it well. Just like there's no guarantee that if you win games, things aren't there's no guarantee in any of this. Win games and let the chips fall where they may.
Now, to your point, I actually agree with your stance on it is You charge the coaches, the front office, to find the players that fit the culture and what you want your team to look like. The issue that you run into is almost the same conversation that'll come up from every bar to every barbershop to every show on this station. Why do we trust this group? Is always the case. And 1 year sample size that they've given you, getting Cam, getting you know what I'm saying, getting Gunner. Everybody
it's one good draft class. They got to do it again.
They got to do it again. And that's where the issue of trusting the process and saying, like, hey, yes, we don't have to have the number one overall pick. And to your point, like, there have been other guys that have had really good seasons. Like, what's his name? Mason Graham has had a solid season for
Carson
the Browns.
Sweshinger has been tremendous. Pick to the top of the second round.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're right. It's that part in it, too, to where Mike Borgonzi and Chad Brinker and the coaches all have to be on the same page and saying, this is what we want the team to look like. And you may have a better chance of getting those guys. But here's the thing, though, too. The top 5, the top 10s in this league, you expect them to be home runs. So if the Titans did move back from 1 to 3, cool. The issue is, of course, is relying on the leverage of saying, hey, you want my pick. Like, I think, to be quite honest with you, the decision that Stefanski made yesterday were highly questionable, as if he got a call from upstairs to say, hey, you know what, take Shador off the field. That I'm not going to attack his integrity.
I'm with you. It
I'm
felt
not
that
going
way.
to, but it felt very, well, if they beat us, we don't have to pay much if we go from 3 to 2.
I know.
It was weird energy watching that last portion of the game unfold like that. He had no reason to go for 2. Shador driven you all the way down the field. Now, that to me is more problematic than saying the Titans won.
Right.
Like, you're tricking me as a fan to say, oh, we're trying to. No, you're not.
Slay in the chat said, definitely Borgonzi, we cool on Brinker. Yeah, and I'm not to say that, the whole front office that was here before Borgonzi is totally blameless. Like, Borgonzi talked about it after the trade deadline. Like, Chad Brinker was here with Rand Carthon for some of the bad things that happened before Borgonzi was hired. That's part of it. Yeah. You have guys that carry over. I think there is trust in the draft class that Mike Borgonzi put together, and that Chad Brinker and Reggie McKenzie and Dave Ziegler, like this entire brain trust together, the product looks good so far.
Yeah.
But to your point, I agree. Like, the stench of losing is strong. You can smell it in Cleveland. Just because you are back up in the top 5 or you have the number 1 pick and you can trade back, like, you kind of get what you need. And the invisible hand of the NFL draft order gives you what you deserve. I would like for the Titans to play themselves out of that. I view it as a win-win. I really do.
Yeah.
Either you get the number 1 pick and you can trade back for a king's ransom and you can build a really good roster, or maybe your roster is already good enough to where you don't need all of that.
Right.
It'd be great if you could have a mixture of both. Like, hey, we're pretty good, or not pretty good. We're getting better. But hey, also here's the number 1 pick. Let's trade back. Like, I'm not going to say that's not a bad thing. I'm not going to root for it. I would rather the guys that we already have on the roster get better and learn how to win than guys who aren't here yet.
Understood.
We'll get to your phone calls, 615-737-1045, and call a reaction to that next. Hey, what's up? It's Will Bowling. Brentwood Hearing Center can take care of you and your loved ones this holiday season. As you are sitting in crowded rooms, maybe you're realizing you don't hear that conversation as well as you used to. Maybe, unfortunately, you realized that somebody in your family doesn't hear that conversation as well as they used to. Check out Brentwood Hearing Center online at brentwoodhearingcenter.com. They have the very best technology on the market. They've got technology dedicated to helping patients hear well where there is background noise. Maybe you were getting together at Thanksgiving, you're in that crowded living room, the dining room, and you're hearing the conversation next to you, or you're just hearing a bunch of gibberish, but you're not actually hearing the person across from you who you're wanting to catch up with. Brentwood Hearing Center can demonstrate industry-changing hearing aid technology, which also connects directly to your smartphone and television. It's like always having surround sound or Bluetooth headphones in. Give them a call, 615-377-0420. Whether it's for you or whether you're bringing a family member by while they're in town for the holidays, Check them out online, BrentwoodHearingCenter.com. That's Brentwood Hearing Center. Better hearing, better life. Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone. Wrap it up, hour 3. Your phone calls at 615-737-1045. Get your little Sunday night football reaction. Because the Houston Texans went to Arrowhead and won a football game.
Yeah, they did.
Do that coming up here in 10 minutes. The conversation before the break, you get what you need. Tanking, not necessarily a guarantee that you're going to get good players. The NFL gives you what you earn in the season. Pick good players. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Does it matter? Are you happy they won yesterday? Nolan in Nashville is up next. Hey, Nolan.
Morning, Nolan.
Hey, good morning, man.
Morning.
Hey, I just wanted to say that that was a good win yesterday, a good team win. But Cam, looking at the yards, he's pretty consistent at 100 and something yards per game. And, I just want to see him at least get a consistent 200 and something yards. Yeah. Occasionally, every now and then, a 300-yard game. I think next year, that's what I'm checking for, to kind of measure, the coaching and his progress and everything like that. But I wanted to ask you two, as far as the number one pick, this coming up draft, like who's coming out that could be a game changer for the Titans next season, man? Or is it just basically all about draft capital? That's all I got.
Thank you, Nolan. Appreciate the call.
Great question. I think it's the latter part right there, Nolan. The last part you said, I think it's the capital. You need as many guys in the secondary.
Yeah.
At the wide receiver position. We can just go on. I mean, a running back maybe in the 4th, 5th.
I think you will need a running back next year in the draft. I think you are looking to acquire draft capital any way you can, even if you don't have the number one overall pick. You are also rooting for, to your question, Ty Simpson and Dante Moore to both come into the draft. And I know Ty Simpson has had a very rough end to the season, maybe so rough that he is going to go back probably for a $4 or $5 million NIL check at Alabama to play in 2026. But you need as many quarterbacks to have first-round grades as possible, or you need somebody like Lenore Sellers to climb their way up out of desperation, kind of the way Anthony Richardson did, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're rooting for, because right now you have the number 3 overall pick. You're behind the Giants and Raiders, who do have to play each other. So unless there's a tie in that game, somebody's going to win that game. That's the Raiders' best chance to win because they got a tough finish to the season beyond that. Actually, I found this yesterday. Paul Gaharski tweeted it out, and I had the full breakdown of remaining schedules as I scrolled to find it. Really thought this was not going to take that long. All right, there we go. Raiders go to Philly, to Houston, host the Giants, and then host Kansas City. The Giants play the Commanders at home, the Vikings at home, at Vegas, and then Dallas. Giants they could win all of those games. Yeah. They're not going to, but they're all winnable. Titans, of course, have at 49ers, Kansas City, New Orleans, at Jacksonville.
What was the caller last name too again?
I don't remember.
Hudson? No. Either way.
I don't know.
To your point, though, too, about getting these draft picks and stuff like that in, though, too, is, do you want the best player? I think this draft cycle right here, get as much capital as you can if it's available to you. But I would also say this, too. I think you got to almost be – the strategy you need is draft to where you see your team getting better. If that means, for example, moving J.C. Latham inside, if he doesn't, if they choose to do that, where are you getting your tackle at? Get answers to what your team is. If you feel like Amani Hooker's on the back end of this thing,
right?
I know safeties aren't usually picked that high, but do you go get Caleb Downs, right? Do you get a running back if you feel like
the most surefire pick?
I mean, seriously, find the answers to what your team needs. Like, I'm all for best available. I do think that. But, like, I don't know if Reuben Bain Jr. is the best answer for this team right now.
Defensive end from Miami.
Miami. Or do you go get the wide receiver because you're so deficient? Like, where can you hide your deficiencies going into 2026?
It's a great point. I mean, I think for me, the biggest priority for this football team this offseason is finding Cam Ward a number 1 wide receiver. Whether you sign that guy in free agency, whether you draft him, I'd prefer to draft them.
Mm-hmm.
So him and Cam, whoever it is, are kind of a package deal. You'll have Carnell Tate from Ohio State in there. You'll have Mekhi Lemon from USC. Jordan Tyson from Arizona State's battled a lot of injuries, but he is going to have a first-round grade. At the back of the first round, you're going to have guys like Casey Concepcion at Texas A&M. You're going to have options.
Kenyon Sadiq, tight end, Oregon. Like, there's a lot of, second, third-round guys. Like
Eli Stowers, tight end from Vanderbilt.
Seriously.
I think the important thing for the Titans in any trade-back situation is the number one question I'm asking is, what are you giving me in 2027? Personally, I'm willing to wait a year for the big-time draft capital and take a 2027 first because of the wide receivers that are coming out in the draft in 2027. And again, you don't have to have the number one overall pick to get that. Look at what the LA Rams did. The Atlanta Falcons traded up to get James Pierce Jr. and gave them a future first-round pick. You just got to make the right phone calls. And again, that's why front office executives get paid the big bucks. Make it work with what you're given. It's not a guarantee that just because you have number one, it's going to automatically work. If you're sitting at 3 or sitting at 2, does somebody want to trade up for Dante Moore? There's a lot of QB-needy teams out there. That's the interesting part of this. So again, Arvell Reese will be there, the do-it-all defensive player from Ohio State, Keldrick Falk out of Auburn, that the Auburn family in Nashville knows very well. Carnell Tate. For my money, it's Carnell Tate or
Peter Woods, D-line.
Peter Woods. So we'll see. But they got options. You could be in a worse spot. You could be Atlanta, Ramon.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have a first-round pick. Or how about you could be Indianapolis?
Man, shout out to the guy I saw in Kroger yesterday that had on I just hope the Falcons lose hat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was all about
generational level of hatred there.
Saints fan hated him.
There you go, the Aints, as they would call him.
Keldrick Falk, I didn't realize is that high of a prospect also.
Yeah, he's got another one we're going to talk a lot about. I'm not saying the Colts are in a worse spot than the Titans. I'm just saying that the Colts are now in quarterback purgatory after yesterday Daniel Jones had a bad Achilles injury, and they just traded their first-round pick a month ago, which we said was stupid
I think
at the
it was
time.
Stoney that brought that up. He or Dr. Dyson yesterday, I was listening to a little bit of the talk back. It's like, which version of the AFC South team would you rather be? The Colts who have Daniel Jones, who just broke both of his legs, basically, tore and broke both his legs.
Popped Achilles, yeah.
Don't have a first-round draft pick. Have a corner you're not sure about that's on a high salary.
Sauce Gardner's hurt now. Yeah, you're sure about him. He's just hurt.
Yeah, and no real future as far as quarterback moving forward. Or the Titans who know they're at the bottom and that can climb themselves up.
But have
like
the capital to fix it. Right.
It's kind of unique in how you look at either one of them.
Or you could be Jacksonville, who is now leading the division, all by themselves up top.
With no Travis Hunter, to your point about picking high in the draft.
We'll talk about the division coming up, 615-737-1045. Some big results in the AFC South yesterday, starting in Kansas City. We'll work our way to Indianapolis as well, as Hour 4 of Ramon and Will begins next.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, and Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
One of the largest sports books east of the Mississippi, Circa Sports Kentucky, is now open. Catch all your favorite games on an 80-foot screen with stadium-style seating and live VSiN broadcast daily. Circa Sports, now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
My dad and I used to golf together all the time, but when he hurt his back, it was over.
To have your son want to spend time with you is amazing. That's why my chronic back pain has been so heartbreaking. Surgery, fused bones, long recovery. No way, not for me. A friend recommended stem cells, so I gave Kellum Stem Cell Institute a call.
I'm glad you're out on the course.
Yeah, it's really good.
Call the Kellum Stem Cell Institute today. Swing still looks just okay though.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams.
Work, it's what we do, part of who we are. There is joy in work. And no matter what size your business is, the dedicated commercial team at Two Rivers Ford will find the work trucks and vans that keep your business moving. And Two Rivers is the only dealer that offers a 90-day free fleet management program that can help you save money on every single mile. The Commercial Vehicle Center at Two Rivers Ford. We work for you.
Every year, beginning in September, goes through August most often, we have an open online registration for those families who feel that they need the extra assistance for our Angel Tree program. And so once those children are registered, those families are registered, they get qualified and they're put on our Angel Tree. And so we go ahead and put them all, whether it be our virtual Angel Tree or through our corporations or in our malls, in various locations, those angels are put out for donors to adopt and sponsor. So this year alone, we have almost 4,000 children that we have promised to provide Christmas for. That's a little over 1,500 families. And then that's not even considering the seniors. We have over 1,000 seniors that we've promised to provide Angel Tree gifts for as well. So every year we rely heavily on our donors and through whether it be individuals, families, corporations to help us supply Christmas for all the individuals who registered with the Angel Tree program. And so we couldn't do it without them. And we were so appreciative of those groups and those individuals who decide and understand the value of community, that it's not just one organization's responsibility to take care of those who are in need, but it's a whole community effort. And we're so thankful that we're able to help facilitate such a wonderful program that this community so desperately needs.
.903, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans take down the Cleveland Browns 31-29 on Sunday in their most complete game of the season. They also secure their second win of the year. Cam Ward 3 for 2 touchdowns for the first time of his career, and Tony Pollard had a career high in rushing yards with 161 yards and also 2 scores on the day. The Titans offensive line allowed just 1 sack. The Titans defense forced an interception, a fumble, and accrued 2 sacks. Jeffrey Simmons had 1.5 of those sacks. Then on special teams, they wanted to join in on the mix as well with a James Williams blocked punt in the fourth quarter. It was the Titans' first blocked punt since back in 2012. In college football, the playoffs are now set. Indiana is the top seed after beating Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship Saturday, who is now ranked at number 2. SEC champion Georgia sits at number 3. Big 12 champion Texas Tech is at number 4. Those teams have the bye. And then it's Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, Miami, Tulane, and James Madison rounding out the 12-team bracket. Locally, Vanderbilt Vanderbilt. They're headed to the ReliaQuest Bowl in Tampa Bay to face Iowa on New Year's Eve. And then Tennessee, they're headed to the Music for Nashville. Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone, fourth and final hour of the show. Getting started already. Quick first 3 hours this morning, Ramon Foster.
Real fast, man. As I sip my coffee going into the last hour, it's the best towards the end of the show, too, by the way. The bottom of the coffee cup, phenomenal.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Are you a one-cup kind of guy?
I gotta be. If I drink more than one cup of coffee, man, I'm just like, what am I doing with myself? I gotta get coffee. I gotta get water, a lot of water after I have those cups of that cup of coffee.
One thing since I've been on this show, I'm
that?
addicted to caffeine.
Amen.
It is awful. I had a caffeine headache the other day because I didn't drink coffee on my day off.
Yeah.
How long does that take to get the caffeine headache for you?
I started noticing it about 11 a.m. And I was like,
that's about right.
So I looked at my wife. It was on Thanksgiving Day. And I looked at her. I said, I'm kind of getting a headache. I don't know why. And she's like, yeah, did you take medicine? No, but I will. And then she goes, you didn't drink coffee this morning, did you? I said, no.
That'll do it.
That's it. So I immediately had some caffeine. Then Friday morning, had my coffee, nipped it in the bud.
I can go about an hour, and then I'll start getting a caffeine headache. And that's bad. It's really bad.
I hadn't gotten to that point yet, but like my need, I guess my need to have it, that's a contradiction right there. But like my idea of having it to where I get that bump and like how I feel is unique. You also caused a problem inside of my house too, just so you know.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
What did I do?
Yeah, you did. I had to clear up some stuff. I ain't not that I had to clear up anything, but we had a decent, you know what I'm saying, coffee maker at the house. It was the major brand that you always get, whoever it is I had. It was a nice coffee maker. You know, I had where you can get hot water on the side, all things, you know, included in coffee making at the house. It was regular. Well, you suggested a coffee maker to me.
I got a Christmas present last year that it's my fancy coffee machine because I'm a coffee snob.
And my impulsive buying took over.
and now you have one too.
And now I got one too. And this thing is so clutch. I've never used an auto timer ever for a coffee maker at my house.
Isn't it great?
5:11 in the morning every morning. You hear that thing grinding beans. Like, it's so dope. I ain't gonna lie to you. I buy whole
Wake up to the
beans
smell
now.
of coffee.
Listen,
yeah, it's better that way.
Absolutely. And the coffee grounds that I have, I just put them in my flower beds out back now. Look at me. You know what I'm saying? Just giving back to the earth.
Green thumb.
Giving back to the earth. My wife wants to do these elevated. Earth. You know, take that CH, put an F on there, man. Giving back to the earth. She wants to do these elevated what are these? Flower beds, I guess you can do, man. You can plant your own stuff. I got to figure out how to do it if my HOA is going to allow it.
Okay.
That's usually the biggest issue is will the HOA allow it where we can just grow our own veggies and stuff like that. So either way, appreciate shout out to that coffee. I've made more coffee at the house than I ever have in my life because of this coffee pot.
Happy for you.
It is. I enjoy it.
Glad to help.
Even though you cause an issue. Thank you.
Last night at Arrowhead, 20-10, Houston Texans over the Kansas City Chiefs. NFL.com gives the Chiefs a 15% chance to make the playoffs. 7 straight conference championship berths, 3 straight Super Bowl appearances, 9 consecutive AFC West titles over. They will not win the division, Kansas City. And this was a career worst passer rating performance for Patrick Mahomes. 19.8 passer rating after throwing 3 interceptions, completing just 42% of his passes. Guys, do y'all understand now why we were happy when Cam Ward played the way he did against the Texans defense? These guys are playing defense, Ramon, with bad intentions.
The menaces.
And we both agreed last week that Houston is the best team in this division. I know that Jacksonville is on top. In my opinion, I think the Texans are still the class of the AFC South, especially now with Daniel Jones hurting his Achilles yesterday in Indianapolis.
And I hadn't looked at C.J. Stroud's stat line in totality. I'm pulling it up right now just to see how he's been this year. But it does 64%, 12 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He's fine. The point I'm making is this. It's one thing to have a young, dynamic quarterback, and there are some that have special quarterbacks. Matthew Stafford's special, right? Like, there's a few guys. Even I'm looking at Josh Allen conversations. They're like, I don't know what he is, although he's dynamic.
Right.
Very much dynamic. But, like, the class of being elite in the NFL is real cool. It's cute.
Right.
But when you got a team that can support you defensively, the way Houston is supporting C.J. Stroud right now, that to me is why I will always point to it's boring conversation to a lot of people that love the diva wide receivers. But you get you an offensive line and you get you one hell of a defense that can support the bad days and just win the gritty ones. Going into Kansas City, still to me, with Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback is a gritty situation. Patrick Mahomes right now, I had a guy hit me up last night and say, I'm going to bet so much money I'm going to win so much money right now. It's like, why? Because Patrick Mahomes doesn't have an offensive line against that Houston, Texas defense. And it showed last night, man. Patrick got to figure out what's next for him, and Kansas City got to figure out a pathway and how they can go get that old thing back. To me, and I said this last week, there's got to be a new trick that Patrick Mahomes has. I don't think he's getting the calls that he used to have scrambling.
And scrambling is the trick, right? Like they kept talking about it on the broadcast last night. Like he understands when he has to run in games like this where there's not a whole lot of separation, but that wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. I mean, it's watching him continually parade side to side and try to find that off-script football is not real. And it's caught up to him because now you got teams in a division that understand how to play against that. What's his name? Kelsey's gotten older.
Yeah.
You don't have the weapons that you used to, and the wide receivers aren't there, and your protection isn't there. Andy Reid's got a big task. Absolutely.
He does. And so many of those deep pass plays they're running are 7-man protections to where you only have 3 guys that are running routes. And so I, as a defense, don't have much that I've got to take away when there's only 2 or 3 guys. And there's not really a huge threat of a run game either with those. So, like, pin your ears back, take away the explosive runs, and don't get beat over the top. And you'll have some success against Kansas City, which is 4-man rushes.
But the original conversation, Houston Texans defense is monstrous.
It is enough for them to go as far as they want to go.
It's sustainable.
It is. And I thought the big mistake in that game last night was Andy Reid deciding to go for it in a 10-10 game at his own 30 on 4th and 1. Andy Reid needs to recalibrate his brain for the type of football team he has and the type of game that was. That was a field position, ball control game. And he coached it like it was a shootout.
Yeah, he did.
When it's 38-35, you can go for it on 4th and 1 at your own 30 because your defense probably going to stop him anyway. And you feel pretty comfortable about your chances of getting a yard. What in that game gave you the confidence that you were going to be, A, able to pick that up, and B, Houston was going to be able to drive the length of the field on you and score? You gift-wrapped them the lead. And then at 17-10, it was over because you can't move the football. So playing field position and setting yourself up for success, like that's how you win a game like that. And I thought Andy Reid got way too greedy to try to coach that game like it was the kind of offensive shootout the Chiefs are typically in under his leadership.
And here's the thing about it. C.J. Stroud provided enough for them to get the job done.
It's a league average offense with a championship level defense.
100%, man. Nico Collins did what you need him to do at times. And the rest of it was on the ground and putting, to your point, Will, a second ago, knowing that your defense was going to put you in real good positions on the field. When their kicker, Harrison Buckner, missed that, I'm tripping because my youngest is on the field. Is like, what if he misses his kick? I'm like, Miles, why would you say what if he misses his kick? He's probably not going to miss it. He's good. Clunk. As loud of a dong as you could hear on that missed field goal. And I was just like, he looked at me, he was like, that's why, Dad. I'm like, shut up, kid. But my point is this. They trust and believed in that defense more than what Kansas City's allowed to do right now with Patrick Mahomes. That tiptoeing down the sidelines, I know the Titans wish they could bring that 2019 season back in which he did those, not there anymore. The idea that his offensive linemen are healthy, not there anymore as far as Patrick Mahomes go.
Tyreek Hill, not there anymore.
Not there anymore. Yeah. And it's kind of fun watching the league catch up like this.
Oh, it's a blast.
Specifically the AFC West.
They're the villain.
They are, man, and that to me is about as cool as you can get watching Denver be at the top of the division. Because, again, to your point, young quarterback, same philosophy and method. that Sean Payton is using up there in Denver. Great defense, a manageable young quarterback that's capable of winning games for you.
Jags 36, Colts 19. Jacksonville is, according to Next Gen Stats, 98% likelihood of making the playoffs. Daniel Jones went down with a non-contact Achilles injury late in the first quarter. He was ruled out shortly thereafter, and that was it. Riley Leonard had 6 snaps entering this game. Now, the Colts have lost 4 of the last 5 after starting the season 7-1. They also have a difficult pathway over the end of the season. Again, talking about the way that defenses play and offense is just not screwing it up. Same could be said about Jacksonville.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence, good down the field, completed 8 of his 16 attempts of 10-plus air yards for 182 and 2 touchdowns. The explosive pass game back for Jacksonville, and just a couple of those plays, plenty in this game. Season high 36 points for a Jacksonville offense that is getting better.
They are. And just simply took advantage of what the Colts were. They were out there starting quarterback. So what? Not your problem. You beat them how you're supposed to. The Colts also hadn't won in Jacksonville in a very long time.
It's been a minute.
11 years or more that they hadn't won down there. And again, rushing game wasn't too crazy. Situationally, too, that's how you have to be able to run the football. When you got to get a yard, you get it. And they were able to do that multiple times. 9-4, 4 straight wins for them. They got quality wins underneath their belt, too. That Chargers team is an 8-4 squad. It's not like that's a rollover team.
Right.
And they're beating who they're supposed to. It's good. Brian Thomas Jr.'s second game back also for him, and it's looking like he's getting his footing underneath them. There's no way, but as hot at the Colts were, I saw it nosediving like this for him. Did not.
So Josh Dubow, I don't know how you say it. My apologies. On Twitter, AP writer, talking about the Chiefs kind of being where they are and now kind of the different look of who's good in the AFC, says this. The last AFC title game, Ramon, without either Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady starting at quarterback.
Let me guess. 20 for Tom?
Tom or Mahomes?
Yep. 2014.
No, but you were there.
No, I was.
2010, AFC Championship, Ben Roethlisberger beat Mark Sanchez. Damn. That's the last time we had an AFC Championship game without either Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady. There is a reply to this. I haven't totally fact-checked this, but I do believe it is correct. The last time the AFC title game, Ramon, didn't include Mahomes, Brady, Roethlisberger, or Manning. You know when that was?
01.
No, but close. Titans were in it. 2003. Rich Gannon versus Steve McNair.
What?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a league run by a select few.
By 4 guys. Mahomes, Brady, Roethlisberger, Manning.
What the hell?
So times are a-changing.
They are.
In the AFC. Coming up, we react to Conference Championship weekend in college football. We've given you our take on the bracket, on the playoff. What about the games over the weekend? We kind of forget about reacting to Conference Championship games a lot. On Playoff Bracket Reaction Monday, Indiana beat Ohio State. Georgia stomped Alabama. We'll dive into both those games next. Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone. Hour 4 continues on this Reaction Monday. Lots to get into today. From a Titans win to NFL results to playoff brackets and conference championship games, a great day to be locked in on The Zone. And, Ramon, tomorrow is a great day for The Zone as well. You know why?
Why?
Because it's Toy Field.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow at Nissan Stadium. Please make plans to join us. It is one of our favorite days of the year. All of our stations here at Cumulus Nashville, part of our 18th annual Toy Field Toy Drive, sponsored by A.O. Smith and Wayne's Pest Control. South End Zone Plaza is where you'll find us. Yeah. So we are typically on the riverside, right there in that big gate. Not this time. South End Zone Plaza. Building a field of toys to benefit Salvation Army's Forgotten Angels program. Extra new unwrapped toy or a gift for a senior. Bring it to Toy Field, and we love all of this. That is what we need. We need new toys, and we need them tomorrow between gates 8 and 9, South End Zone, Nissan Stadium.
Let's go ahead and bring a gift. Y'all can stop by today. It's early enough. We've already warned you about making that stop this evening. Just drop by in the morning. Will and I will be there, man. I might bring an additional heater for us to stay warm, man, if Kirby allows it, because it's Kirby's land that we're in over there. Want to make sure he allows it. But my point is this. We will be warm and cozy, y'all. We will keep the gifts warm and cozy for y'all, too, man. It's much better to give than receive this time of the year.
Yes, it is.
We live in too much excess anyway, good people.
We tell you now, that way on your drive home from work today, you can go ahead and make plans. Hey, let me go get a basketball. Let me go get a scooter. Unwrapped new toys.
Scooter?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and throw in a Ferrari for myself, too.
What? How did you go from Razor scooter to Ferrari? That was crazy.
I can't even fit in a Ferrari.
Just because it had wheels? You went Italian sports car?
Might as well at this point. Okay. Listen.
Wow.
Might as well go ahead and ask for it. Listen, closed mouth don't get fed.
One of those tiny little like toy Ferrari things?
Yeah, they make $5 ones now, Ramon.
I was already
$5? Wow.
They make what?
$5 Ferraris.
For what?
They're probably the size
little
of
toy cars, little Hot Wheels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Hot Wheels would work.
Hot Wheels would definitely work. I love a great Hot Wheels car set and
Absolutely.
track.
I was a big fan of those.
Man, you were
a kid.
I still am. I don't buy them, but like I will go through the toy section from time to time and just look at the toys that are in there. It's just like, ooh, I wish I had that car. I still play that game on myself.
28-7, Georgia over Alabama. The Alabama offense was a toy for the Georgia defense to play with on Saturday afternoon in Atlanta, Georgia. See, there's always a transition. Gunnar Stockton with 3 touchdown passes. He was 20 of 26 for 156. He carried it for 39. Ramon, congratulations.
On what?
You had more rushing yards than Alabama on Saturday in the SEC Championship.
Listen, thank you, man. It's the first time in my career I can brag about this. I appreciate all y'all for tuning into it. Who goes against Kirby Smart? I just want to start there first in that setting on the big stage. We spoke about that defense earlier this year and how like they had to grow up. Well, they did. Kirby has a way of incorporating, and not just that. I meant to text y'all in the group chat. I was like, I'm not about to be over texting y'all. But like what he does is good. He's mastered in public speaking because
Kirby Smart?
Yes. Yeah. He's good at it. He told everybody then on the stage, like, if you want to play this style of ball, this is how you play it. And we don't look for anything else other than that. Like,
he is an expert motivator. There's no doubt about it.
It's amazing how he goes about doing that, man. And getting his guys to buy in and not starting with the NIL or the money component.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Alabama was again exposed in their glaring weakness.
Yeah.
They can't run the ball. The University of Alabama, Ramon Foster, for 2 straight years has struggled to run the ball. That is unacceptable. That is completely unacceptable. You have recruited enough good linemen and good running backs that your starting back being out should not torpedo your run game this badly. Jam Miller was held out of this game with a lower leg injury. We'll see if he's available to get back. Kayla DeBoer saying over the weekend, saying, I'm optimistic on a lot of these guys because they were without LT Overton, their best defensive lineman, too. Tight end Josh Cuevas and Left guard Cam Dewberry all out. Said, Jam, I feel, is probably the farthest along if I really put in that order. Kalen DeBoer saying over the weekend, I feel really good that he's got a strong chance of being not just available, but ready to go at a level he can compete and do some good things for us against Oklahoma. He leads Alabama, Ramon, with 123 carries for 493 yards.
Jam?
Yeah.
They don't recruit well, Will.
What? According to who? They recruit great. It's not that they don't recruit well. They recruit really well.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, it is insane that we live in a world where we're talking about Jam Miller's value, and this is an honest statement. Jam Miller's value to Alabama being as a pass blocker. Alabama running backs used to win Heismans.
Yeah, they did.
There's one that played here for a good while. His name was Derrick Henry. Mm-hmm. Now we talk about, man, it'll be big to get Jam Miller back because he's a good pass blocker. And that's not even a joke. Like, it's serious.
But that's the thing, though. That's the conversation right there when going from Nick Saban to Kalen DeBoer. And I say that respectfully because Kalen DeBoer has won big. He put Washington, the Huskies, into the college football championship game. And that was the biggest thing is, you can't duplicate Nick Saban at all. That guy lives now in Athens, Georgia. We're talking about a mentality type, right? And Kirby Smart. And
Scott Cochran also. We're talking about mentality reasons. Coach as they call him.
That's true, too.
For reasons why that mentality left.
Or it's in College Station. It's in other places, but here's the other part of it, though. Looking at the way Kalen DeBoer called that game, it was more side-to-side stuff. It's not in your face. They got the linemen, to your point, that are big enough to control the game, and they're just not right now. Mentality does, in my personal opinion, start from the top down, especially in the college world, because you have to create a mentality of what you are. And what Alabama is right now is cute. Jam Miller is a trinket. More than anything. He is an ornament on the Christmas tree. When at that university, the running backs used to be the main stars of the show. They beat you down and then said, watch this. The biggest highlight that Alabama has right now is the Ryan Williams catch against Georgia.
Yeah, and in this game, he had 2 catches.
I'm probably wrong. And they've had times in which, this year, that defense dominated the Vols before the half. I get that, right? But you also have, when it's good versus good, on that level, Georgia's offensive line absolutely bodied the big boy. What is his name, man? The big D lineman. Yes. They bodied him. They had that glaring look in his eye when they panned the camera to him. And they also had a backup center in the game.
Yeah, that's right. Because it was without Drew Bobo, their starting center.
Without Drew Bobo. And then here's the thing, too. Alabama lose their left guard earlier in the game. And I'm thinking to myself, okay.
Cam Dewberry.
Yeah. All right. Y'all still recruit at a higher level than most.
5 stars on 5 stars on 5 stars.
I was telling to somebody, it was my brother-in-law, actually. We were in the group chat together. And I was like, all right. I said, now, if they didn't make the college football playoffs, and they did, I said, but here's the issue that you're going to run into. You're dealing with a fan base, man, that's been spoiled, rightfully so. What we're all realizing is there's only one of these guys at a time. Nick Saban, that is, too. And it's hard to replace him with a guy, and I know you wouldn't have got the right pick, but that isn't Alabama football right now, in my personal opinion.
Agreed.
And that sucks. No, it don't suck for them. Screw Alabama at this point, okay?
If you're an Alabama fan, it stinks.
But for Alabama fans, yes, to your point, it does stink for them.
What scares you about Alabama? I mean, the receivers in the pass game, okay, well, Ty Simpson has no margin for error.
No.
And Ty Simpson in the first matchup with Georgia was unbelievable on third down. They're 13 of 19, I believe, on third down in the first matchup. In this game, 3 of 13. Yeah. You were never going to be 13 of 19 on third down again. That's why I felt so good about, I wasn't here to do the picks on Thursday. I felt so good about Georgia in this game because Alabama's pathway to upsetting Georgia the first time was being borderline perfect on third down and extending drives and giving their defense time to have rest against a really physical Georgia offensive front and a physical Georgia run game that Ramon goes by the same method every time they win. It's, we're going to run the ball down your throats in the second half. We're going to set you up. We're going to have some explosive pass plays. We're going to have some wrinkles with Zach Branch and, the receivers they've gotten. But then
and primarily for them, their front seven could not stop anything that Georgia was choosing to do. And then it was the game planning in which Mike Bobo had for Georgia was amazing. It was 3rd and 2, 4th and 1 situation. They ended up shifting the left tackle over to the right side of the offensive line. Bama slanted all the way over to the right. Left a linebacker and a DN over there by himself. And you know what Mike Bobo and Gunnar Stockton did? They did a tush push, and he just moved left.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the guys right now at Alabama, which is kind of crazy to me, that can win one-on-one matchups in those situations. You're also getting outplanned by a guy that – I guess at a time had questions, too, about what they were capable of doing, minus the starting center in the game, too, at Georgia. Like, they got out-schemed, they got out-game plan, and they got beat up in that game, man. I thought it was –
Outmanned.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you don't have Ryan Williams down the field or Jeremy Bernard, a 1st and 10 means nothing to a team that's got the defense like Georgia.
Ty Simpson struggles when you can't totally protect him and keep him comfortable. I mean, Georgia defenses just do this all the time. They'll have pedestrian sack numbers.
Yeah.
They won't really disrupt you a ton during the season against worse opponents. And then when they need to flip the switch, goodness do they flip it.
Yeah, they did.
And they flipped it in a really big way in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. With Jam Miller out, Alabama finished with 209 total yards, -3 rushing. They had 9 carries for 17 yards in the first half. That included 2 carries by wide receivers and 1 by Ty Simpson. Mm-hmm. They just have no run game with their running backs.
No.
And there's only so much you can do as an offensive play caller if you're Ryan Grubb when you can't get hard-earned yards.
Right.
There's no offensive coordinator that's going to be able to work around that. There's no play call that's magic. This team just is not built to run the ball, and it's unexplainable to me.
Think about Michael Penix Jr. and the team that they had, though, too. Like, this is Kalen DeBoer's style. It's just that he's got better recruits and resources right now at Alabama. Like, it was the biggest hire that Bama could have made in that hiring era. I got to give it to them. Go take a
that they realistically could have made.
Yes, that they realistically could have made. But it's not a style I don't think that's going to take them over the top year after year. To your point, you're not going to fear what Alabama is with that style of ball that they're playing right now.
You're not. Alabama, and that's the biggest indictment of Alabama football today. You don't fear them right now.
You mentioned running backs again. I'm trying to look at the recruits they have behind Jam Miller. A.K. Deere is another high 4-star. He was a 95 overall rating, according to Rivals.
Yeah, they've got recruits. They've got linemen who should be able to block better in the run game. And they've got running backs who should be able to run better. I guarantee you, C.J. Baxter, the Texas running back, just entered the portal about an hour ago.
Did he?
If I'm Alabama, I am trying to find my next Jahmyr Gibbs.
Not if they don't commit to the run.
Well, no, but you find the running back who forces you to commit. That's the point. Jahmyr Gibbs was a Georgia Tech transfer who came in and changed that offense with the help of Bryce Young, obviously. I'm looking for the highest priced transfer running back that I can find and saying, let's just lean all the way into our weakness. All the way in. Problem is, it may be harder to spend that money if you got to pay Ty Simpson to stick around.
I don't know if that's in DeBoer's DNA.
I don't know if it is either. Because 1 year is 1 year, but this is 2 years now where Alabama just hasn't run the ball well.
No. And getting beat by teams at times they're not supposed to. Now, they made it to the CFP. The best win on the college football schedule this year was
they beat this Georgia team.
But it was also perfect. Was it not a perfect
13 of
game?
19 on third down is pretty perfect in that building, yes.
Yes, okay.
100%.
But again, what do we say in sports? Do it again. And they couldn't in a neutral site.
Indiana 13, Ohio State 10. First Big Ten title since 1967. They share that one. First outright Big Ten title for the Hoosiers since the 40s. Fernando Mendoza did enough. 15-23, 222, a touchdown and a pick. Julian Sayin, 21-29 for 258 and a touchdown. Indiana's defense is just nasty. Nasty. Held Ohio State to 4 of 12 on third down and 322 total yards. They held Ohio State to 58 yards on the ground. Being able to hold that offense with those receivers, that quarterback, to 322 total yards, Indiana deserves all the praise in the world for the way their defense played. They were nasty against a really, really, really good Ohio State team.
Yes, it was. And Ohio State don't need Joel Klatt on the broadcast ever for them again because he asked for a Mendoza and, Elijah Surratt moment. The very next play, he threw the fade to him for the touchdown and a highly contested, beautiful throw moment right there. That, to me, that moment, I think, is what sealed the deal for Fernando Mendoza as far as winning the Heisman. That's being unbiased. That's looking at the body of work that he has on the season. And then, of course, I mean, we're talking about a really good football game. That Indiana and Ohio State game was really good. I don't care if you were a neutral supporter, Ohio State can't leave that game and say, oh, we suck. No, absolutely not. They just outplayed you, and they got a coach that made that team believe with a bunch of JMU transfers. Will insane to me, man.
Big weekend for the Dukes.
It was.
Making the playoff, and then their old head coach being the number 1 seed in the playoff.
And again,
they hired Billy Napier.
Yes, they did.
Pretty
wow.
good.
Great for him.
Yeah.
But Julian Saint's not a bad quarterback, not even a little bit. That, to your point, that defense got all over him. They bent the corner. They pursued. They caged them in and sacked them. Their team rushing is 58 yards, but that's because Ohio State, 58 yards, because they got minus 29 from Julian Saint. They were relentless. Indiana's, as far as I can tell, seem to be here to stay.
Congratulations to Bryant Haynes, the defensive coordinator of the Indiana Hoosiers, on winning the Broyles Award for Best Assistant Coach in college football. Obviously, the award's not been given out yet, but he will win. That is the easiest award to be given out this year in the award season of college football. The job that Bryant Haynes has done with that defense at Indiana, terrific. Absolutely terrific. He's been a member of all 4 of Curt Cignetti's head coaching staffs. Been with him for a long time. 11th season with Curt Cignetti, and he got it right.
Yeah, he did.
Curt Cignetti is doing one of the best coaching jobs, Ramon, we have ever seen in college football.
So fast.
With a roster that's not supposed to be close to this good. They've made it good.
Not even. I just want to give a shout out to the linebacker from Texas A&M that won the MVP of the game, too. What is his name? He had 2 picks in that game. Where is he at? Golly, I'm losing him.
You mean Texas Tech?
Texas Tech's linebacker. Won MVP. That's on me. Either way, he is damn good, and probably end up in the first round.
Ben Roberts.
Yeah, Ben Roberts. Ben Roberts, that's who he was. I need to scroll a little bit farther.
34-7 Texas Tech over BYU.
He played a heck of a game. That dude is a dog, man. I love the way he play football, but Texas Tech defense, too. Something to watch into this college football playoffs. They're good. They're really good. BYU may not be that great, but Texas Tech made them look worse.
Open for your phone calls, 615-737-1045. Final calls, final headlines on the way out next.
Every year, beginning in September, goes through August most often, we have an open online registration for those families who feel that they need the extra assistance for our Angel Tree program. And so once those children are registered, those families are registered, they get qualified and they're put on our Angel Tree. And so we go ahead and put them all, whether it be our virtual Angel Tree or through our corporations or in our malls, various locations, those angels are put out for donors to adopt and sponsor. So this year alone, we have almost 4,000 children that we have promised to provide Christmas for. That's a little over 1,500 families. And then that's not even considering the seniors. We have over 1,000 seniors that we've promised to provide Angel Tree gifts for as well. So every year we rely heavily on our donors and through whether it be individuals, families, corporations to help us supply Christmas for all the individuals who've registered with the Angel Tree program. And so we couldn't do it without them. And we are so appreciative of those groups and those individuals who decide and understand the value of community, that it's not just one organization's responsibility to take care of those who are in need, but it's a whole community effort. And we're so thankful that we're able to help facilitate such a wonderful program that this community so desperately needs.
Roberto Will wrapping up the show. Hit the podcast feed if you missed any of the reaction this morning. Wherever you download podcasts, we are there. And come by and see us tomorrow. Go pick up a new toy by your favorite box store. You can probably get one on Amazon. That'd be there at your house today since they're working overtime. Little elves over at Amazon.com. Between gates 8 and 9 tomorrow, Nissan Stadium, South End Zone. Looking forward to it.
Let's do it.
Should be fun. There'll be food. There'll be hot drinks. We will be cold, and that will be quite okay.
That's all that matters.
'Tis the season.
It is.
I'll charge my electric vest again after taking it to
I'm going to try to bring a heater.
Cleveland. Okay. Well, we'll have heaters there already.
I know, but I want them up close and personal.
Because we always hear the story every year. We tell the same stories on this station a lot about how Kirby stood too close to the heater once and burned his pants. Every year.
Everybody's dealt with that.
That's right. So, how do you feel about Notre Dame opting out of bowl game?
Soft.
Is this a blanket? Like, is every program in the wrong for opting out? Or are you singling out Notre Dame for this? Is there ever a reason to opt out of a bowl game? I'll frame it that way.
Other than a tragedy, lack of player participation, I'm what I called earlier. Coaches love this time of the year because they get an opportunity to develop. Like, we're losing in college, man. I think more than what the NFL is, the concept of team, the concept of adversity, the concept of 1 year doesn't define you. It's a matter of, can you come back again the next year, right? Like Alabama, even with speaking about them, like, this is a huge opportunity for Kalen DeBoer to prove his, stance as a coach moving forward. It's Texas A&M. Like, I know I mentioned it big times, but like for Notre Dame to say, no, we don't want to, or hey, ESPN, we're not going to delight you in bowl season because we got to deal with NBC. That's too easy. Like, we're in a participation trophy era so much so, and I feel like this to me is a participation moment. If we don't get what we want, we'll just leave. Like, Notre Dame to me is acting like the transfer portal with kids. Like, you don't get what you want, so we'll just leave. I don't agree with that, man.
Yeah, I think it's a really bad message for all the reasons you just said. I totally agree. I think it is very childish.
Yeah.
Just, let's take our ball and go home. Well, you don't want to invite us to playoff, or we're just not going to play anymore. Like, it's not the biggest issue facing the sport right now, but it is an issue. Bowl season is dead as we knew it. The only scenario where I'm okay with you opting out of a bowl game is if you lost your coach or had a coaching change and there's major portal turnover. You just don't have enough scholarship players.
Yep.
That's understandable. Like Iowa State. Coaching change, Matt Campbell, which, by the way, what a hire for Penn State.
I know.
It's like you strike out at the bar all night, and then at 2:30 a.m., you find a 10. That's essentially what Penn State did.
It is.
I mean, Matt Campbell's probably like an 8, but again.
10s are unicorns.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 10's like Dan Lanning. He ain't going anywhere. But, like, if that's your situation, fine.
Yeah.
But Notre Dame? Unless Marcus Freeman thinks he's going to the New York Football Giants,
Or the Tennessee
I don't understand it. Yeah, well, maybe.
I don't get it either. For a team that has that much respect and integrity as a part of it, like we get the Rudy movie because your integrity and fairness to everybody, that's unfair to those guys.
Well, it's a chance to develop, again, to your point, freshmen and sophomores, like the future of your programs. And I know there's portal and like the critics of what we're saying would be like, well, why would you develop somebody else's player? Because that guy's probably going to leave anyway. Well, that's on you. That's going to happen anyway. Develop who you can develop. And remember that being such a big deal when Tennessee was not in bowl games for so long. Was like, man, like it's just, they got to get one of these bowl games to develop some of these young guys. Like it's 15 practices. It's that part of it, and it's the fact that, again, in today's era of college football, what the fan wants and what fans benefit from is last on the list of priorities and how college football decision makers make their choices.
That's so real.
Fans get to benefit from seeing an extra game. Fans that get to go on vacation and watch you play. They're going to be at the Pop-Tart Bowl against BYU. That's an Orlando Bowl game. That's a vacation that your fan base can't take. There's a lot of Notre Dame fans in Florida and in the South who retired in the state of Florida who you would have had a home game atmosphere there. And what those fans get to see. Like, there are a lot of people that's their first opportunity to go see their team play. Again, we talk about this with spring games, too. Like a lot of folks that can't afford to go to those big games and their sold-out stadiums, they go to the spring game. That's their only chance. It's like, that sucks for fans that may get a cheaper ticket and their only chance to see their team play. Or maybe they can't get up to South Bend, but hey, we can go down the road to Orlando. Those fans don't get to see their team play anymore. That's not number one on the list of problems facing the sport, but it is a problem that fans are consistently put in the back seat, and moneymakers and chancellors and university presidents get put in the front seat driving the car, so their desks are richer versions of mahogany than they are right now.
You just don't want this to be the case when it comes down to the way players opt out. The Bosa, you remember when they did it at first, how don't normalize this. And I feel like Notre Dame, as big of a brand that they are, normalizing college teams opting out shouldn't be a thing.
Back at it tomorrow morning, we'll have Austin Price with the latest on Tennessee football contract negotiations. Yes, that's a real statement. Plus, Music City Bowl for the Vols and a basketball team that is in rough shape. With Austin Price tomorrow, plus much more reaction to the football weekend. Monday Night Football tonight. Lots more still to come. Bright and early, 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
But remember at all times, your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot.